There are plenty of young faces around during spring training. While the backfields are full of youthful Phillies of tomorrow, the main diamond is the current stage to a youthful new Philly of the present. Ben Revere is filled with excitement, and his enthusiasm shines all around the outfield, where he'll be roaming for the 2013 Phils. If you're the Phillies fans, nothing better than being at Bright House Field for a 3-game homestand this afternoon in front of bright, sunshiny skies. Quick, who are the Phillies playing? No, it's not the McGillicuddies. That's right, it's the Twins. The Minnesota Twins are here at Bright House Field for another afternoon affair. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Chris Wheeler. Yep, the Minnesota Twins are up from Fort Myers this afternoon. Now, they have a split squad, and they also have a number of players who are playing in the World Baseball Classic, so not many stars here this afternoon, but this is a Twins team that's getting younger and younger.
Yeah, we may see some guys today that we'll see later in the summer when the Phillies go to Minnesota. As Tom said, they don't have a whole lot of their players here for those variety of reasons. But this is what they did during the offseason. You see, they signed some veteran guys like Kevin Correa, Mike Pelfrey with the Mets for all those years, Rich Hart, and they lost quite a few good players right there, including the guy that's with the Phillies right now in Ben Revere, Vance Worley, and Trevor May coming over for the Phillies in that Ben Revere deal. So they are trying to do some different things, are these Twins.
When we talk about Ben Revere, I think a lot of folks have been excited to watch him play so far this spring, and also, and this is the great thing about him, also get to know him a little bit this spring.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. There's no doubt about it. He's an interesting personality to have in the ball club. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to be able to handle playing in Philadelphia because it is different no matter what a guy thinks. They don't know till they get there. He has a lot of different tools. You see, he'll be able to bunt for a base hit with his great speed, steal a bag right there, got a great jump and stole that easily, wants to steal a lot of bases. He hardly ever swings and misses. Great hand-eye contact as he doubles to left field. He doesn't even foul balls off that often. This guy has a lot of tools, and his legs are the things that are going to keep him in the major leagues. See, he's only 24 years of age, and he was a former #1 draft pick. Right now, no power. Has not hit a major league home run. But as Tom said, he's an interesting guy. He has a lot of personality. When you get a guy like this, the first thing the fans want to know, well, what's he like? What kind of person is he? Well, let Ben explain.
I'm people friendly. You know, when I first got here, everybody welcomed me in open arms, and just met some great people. You know, it's just sometimes it is, sometimes maybe scary, but no, I think it's all about the business. I have my mindset ready for it in the future time because I knew Robert had a feeling down the road. I knew the Twins probably going to trade me for something, and so I was kind of prepared for that. But no, my parents raised me to be a people-friendly person, so I came in here, you know, everybody welcomed me.
I think what you see is what you get with this guy, and what you see and what you're going to get is a really fun player, Tom.
And because Jimmy Rollins is out at the World Baseball Classic, Ben Revere getting a chance to lead off for the Phillies, which is where he is this afternoon against his former club, the Minnesota Twins. And look who's on the mound. Cliff Lee, off his last outing against the Blue Jays, trying to refine some things and settle back in as the Phil rotation continues to move on. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Let's go places.
They're not yet wave. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Miss Jordan Yankovic.
Oh, a beautiful rendition of the national anthem this afternoon as the Phillies get set to take on the Minnesota Twins. Hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday afternoon, wherever it is they're watching Phillies baseball. Here in Clearwater, Florida, it's a comfortable day. Temperatures will be in the 60s as we move along with Cliff Lee's outing this afternoon. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Ron Gardenhire's squad. Now, you may look at this lineup and say, we don't know any of those guys. Well, it is true. They're young, and they have a split squad today. Leading it off in center field is Aaron Hicks. Brian Dozier, the second baseman, bats second. The third baseman is Mark Sobolewski. He'll bat third. Ryan Dinkelman, the right fielder, bats cleanup. Wilkin Ramirez in left field hits fifth. Dan Rolfing, the first baseman, bats sixth. Josmil Pinto is the DH. He'll bat seventh. Chris Herman will bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing shortstop is Pedro Florimon. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee. Cliff did not have a particularly strong outing his last time out, but the wind was blowing out of Dunedin. And every ball that went up in the air, wheels seemed to go deep, either out of the ballpark or into the alleyways.
Well, that place plays real small time when the wind's blowing out. In fact, teams don't even like to go over there and take batting practice because they don't have enough baseballs for batting practice. So, yeah, he got caught up in that a little bit. Wind blowing in a little bit here today, nothing like yesterday. More of a nice gentle breeze as opposed to that gale. See, the flags are not stiff the way they were for the whole game yesterday afternoon. So it's a beautiful afternoon. As Tom said, should be in the mid-60s maybe by the time we finish. And the Minnesota Twins, there's your weather forecast, or what it is right now, it's 63. What Tom said about the Twins, they not only have a split squad, they got a bunch of guys in the World Baseball Classic. So they got the regular rule waived.
Well, the 13 players who are in the World Baseball Classic for the Twins, the most in Major League Baseball. And their split squad is against the Red Sox down in Fort Myers, so that's a little closer for some of the veterans. So here's the first pitch of the day from Cliff Lee to Aaron Hicks, and it's a fastball in at the knees. It's 0-1.
Yeah, a lot of these kids playing this game today are not going to be in the big leagues at the start of the season, but they were more than happy to make this bus ride.
Aaron Hicks, a 23-year-old, has spent 5 years in the Twins system. And he lifts one to right field. That's pretty well hit. Mayberry going back, and he's going to run out of room. And there's a leadoff home run for Aaron Hicks to begin the ball game.
He's out there saying, can we get in the ballpark soon where the wind's not blowing out? Because as it even happened yesterday, as hard as the wind was blowing in, that's a jet stream out there when you have the northwest winds out to right and right center. That's a fly ball that gets up in the wind. It's a home run. Here's a look at it. Probably got too much of the plate, too, he would tell you. Too good a pitch, but still, there's another one.
Well, that's the sixth hit allowed by Cliff Lee this spring. He allowed 5 in his last start against the Blue Jays. Now Brian Dozier, 25-year-old second baseman who will be a utility guy, it seems anyway, for the Twins this year. He's 4 for 16 so far this spring. He's been kind of making the transition from being an everyday shortstop in the minor leagues to being a second baseman and possibly floating around the infield for Minnesota. He pops it up into foul territory. Ryan Howard, this will be a tough play, and it's going to drop in foul territory. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ryan, as we've seen all spring, is playing today. He has played in every game that the Phillies have played in spring training this year.
We're calling him Lou, Cal before it's over.
Amazing, isn't it? But the objective was to gain him confidence and gain him playing time, and it's worked. I think tomorrow will be his first day off when the Phillies head down to Port Charlotte to take on the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, if you're going to take a day off, take a long bus ride off.
1-2 the count to Dozier, who last year hit .234 with 6 home runs and 33 RBIs for the Twins. Fastball inside, 2-2. Cliff Lee is coming off a remarkably obscure season in which he won just 6 games but had an ERA of 3.16 in 30 starts. He threw 211 innings and allowed 207 hits. And as every Philly fan knows, with those kind of innings, And those kind of hits allowed and the 207 strikeouts, you look at it and say, well, he should be a double-digit winner.
Normally column A and column B match up to column C. Not in this case.
It's sharply to second to his right Utley.
Just didn't happen. And been over and over many of the reasons. Then Lee will admit some of the reasons were his fault, too, because he had leads he couldn't hold.
And part of that was because of the Phillies bullpen, which struggled. And when he was rolling along in games, and there were a lot of games where he was rolling along, Charlie Manuel left him in, and he just couldn't hold on to the leads late in games.
Right. He figured the alternative was better to leave Cliff in the game and try and get through it as opposed to bringing some of the napalm he had out there into the games. It just wasn't working out. It got better as the year went on. The bullpen got better, and Cliff Lee also benefited from that.
Sobolewski last year hit .249 with 20 home runs at 59 runs batted in as a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. This spring, he's 5 for 11 from Minnesota. Does have 5 runs batted in. And he's down on the count 0-2. As the game moves on, we'll kind of give you an idea of who the starters will be. At least the expected starters will be for the Twins. Only Florimon, who's starting at shortstop, is supposed to be a starter this year as Lee paints on the inside corner for his first strikeout.
That's vintage Cliff Lee right there. Hitter didn't think it was a strike, but it's a cutter and it runs in on the hands. Even if they swing at this, the only thing they can do is hit it foul or break their bat. Probably thought it was a little high. Cliff didn't.
Two outs, Brian Dinkelman, the right fielder. Last year he hit .301 with no home runs and 4 runs batted in. 2 for 12 so far in the spring. And that should do it for the inning. Nice hop for Chase Utley, and the side is retired. However, the Twins take an early lead on a leadoff home run by Aaron Hicks that went the opposite way. We go to the bottom of the first with the Phillies down 1-0. Phillies down 1-0 as we move to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at Charlie Manuel's lineup for this afternoon. Leading it off at center field, Ben Revere. Freddie Galvis, the shortstop, at second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Michael Young. Dominic Brown's in left field. He's had a good spring. Batting seventh and DHing today is Darren Ruff. John Mayberry Jr. is in right field. He'll bat eighth. And Eric Kratz does the catching this afternoon with Cliff Lee on the mound. You know Cliff would love to hit. Kyle Gibson is the scheduled starter for the Twins. This will be his third game overall and his second start this spring. In 3 2/3, he's allowed 4 hits and has struck out 5.
So originally a 36-round pick of the Phillies back in 2006, decided to go to Mizzou instead. University of Missouri is a communications major in that great school they have out there. That was a first-round pick of the Twins in 09, 22nd overall.
He's a big kid. He's 6'6", 210 pounds, from Greenfield, Indiana. And last year he pitched on 3 different levels and was 0-2 with a 4.13 earned run average. Here's Ben Revere to lead it off against his former team, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Revere fights it off. It's 0-2. Ben Revere last week was down in Fort Myers when the Phillies were playing the Twins and got to see some of his former teammates. Here he's chatting with Aaron Hicks in the outfield before the ball game. He's probably looking at some of these guys, and he may not even know some of them.
Yeah.
0-2 the count. Choppered back toward the middle, and Dozier knows he has to hurry, and he throws him out. One out for Freddie Galvis. Freddie's had a pretty good spring offensively. He's 6 for 22. You can watch him play, during infield work before batting practice and, around the complex. And he certainly feels like he belongs, and he looks like he belongs, too. Now, whether he sticks with the club at the end of spring training, that remains to be seen. He shows bunt and takes the pitch low. It's 1-0.
Kyle Gibson, one of the many guys you talk about having had Tommy John surgery September of 2011, then came back last year, pitched at 3 different levels, and probably ready to go start the season here.
He pitched in the Arizona Fall League this past year just to get himself some extra innings after the Tommy John surgery. To right center field. Boy, Freddie Galvis shows some pretty good power from time to time, and that one is going to take a hop off the top of the wall. He'll look at the third base coach, Ryan Sandberg, and there he goes. The ball was overthrown, so he'll slide in safely. Now, what should be a triple for Freddie Galvis.
It's really tough to overthrow 2 cutoff men.
By a large margin.
By a lot. And that's what happened out there. That's why when you see cutoffs and relays, they go out there and one cutoff man will go deeper. The other one backs him up just in case there's an overthrow. And in this case, this ball almost goes out of the ballpark. Evidently, Gibson has a very good changeup. There you see it hits there on the wall. And now this thing, Freddie takes a look. And I don't know whether he got waved or not, but he just kept on coming. But that was amazing how much he missed those cutoff men by.
I don't know if Ryan Sandberg could see that with the trajectory of the ball. If that's why he was bringing him to third. So with the infield back and the Twins up 1-0, Chase Utley has an RBI opportunity. Chase has 2 RBIs this spring. Takes outside. 4 for 14 so far in the spring. And Chase will get the run home. There's a ground ball to second. Scoring easily is Galvis. It's a 1-1 game. Another RBI for Utley. And that is a productive out.
That's why it's so much fun to hit 3 in the lineup and want your 3-hole hitter to be a guy that can make some contact, be one of your best hitters, if not your best hitter, because you get a lot of those opportunities where the infield's back in the first inning. You get that run, and how many times you look up late in the game and that one run can be the difference for you one way or the other, where you got it or you didn't get it.
We've seen that a handful of times already this spring. It's all part of what the Phillies seem to be trying to work on.
Sure. Well, it doesn't seem like that big a deal, Tom, when you get a run like that in the first inning. But now all of a sudden you're in the 8th inning and you're up by a run and you're at the back of your bullpen, as opposed to being in a tie game where you don't use certain guys. Whoa.
I don't know if everybody realizes it or not, but that ball was coming right back just above our heads, and Wheels was, well, he was vocally reacting.
Wow. That was a baby.
It was coming pretty good. Ryan Howard has hit a ball in the press box before. In fact, there's a framed shot in the main press box, which is up the third base line.
I was over there when that happened.
And it went past the second level and hit the wall in the back, and they have the hole in the wall framed, and Ryan came up and signed it one day.
Went right past Kevin Gregg, who was working with the Phillies at that time in the PR department, and we were on the other side, and it was, wow, it sounded really fast. He had no time to move.
The other part of it is that Ryan was laughing the entire time he was in the batter's box when he saw it go in.
Well, we were waving handkerchiefs and towels at him and yelling, throw him a breaking ball so he'll pull the thing.
Well, there's the breaking ball. He didn't pull it. He goes down on strikes, and the Phillies are retired here at the first. However, they tie it up with the ground out RBI from Chase Utley. We go to the second. The Phils and Twins tied at 1. One, there's the Carpenter Complex. It's a great asset here at Bright House Field. And for more on that, let's bring in Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thanks very much, Tom. Well, last year we took you on a tour of the outdoor facility here at the Carpenter Complex. But this year we wanted to take you inside to one of the newest jewels down here in Clearwater. That's this 20,000 square foot facility here at the Carpenter Complex. Right now you're inside about a 5,000 square foot workout room. They've got everything the players need to stay in shape and get in shape. Cardio, free weights, universal machines, and this time of the year, this is basically for the minor league players in camp, but in the off-season, some of the players who are on rehab assignments, well, they can come down here and use these facilities as well. But that's just part of the 20,000 square foot. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we'll take you through those doors where the players can work all year long on keeping their swings in line. Tom?
Well, it's pretty impressive. There's no doubt about it. We were fortunate enough to go on a tour earlier this spring and to see all of the beautiful pieces of equipment that they've added to the Carpenter Complex. And if you don't, I mean, every once in a while you roll across an organization that's enticing to come to for a variety of reasons, and the Phillies are enticing for so many reasons. As that ball is lined toward left center field by Wilkin Ramirez, cut off nicely by Dominic Brown, and he holds him to a leadoff single. But that is one of those small pieces to an organization that has to be enticing for any player to see and be part of.
That's really impressive. You know, when they take college kids around to recruit them for football, one of the enticements is the weight room at different universities. And that kind of reminds you of that, what you were just talking about, where you go and look at that and say, woo, boy, they care about us right here. We'll think about it.
Well, you'll have to stay tuned. What Murph said, we'll show you some of the other facets of that new building, which is out there on the Carpenter Complex. Now, the Carpenter Complex was here before Bright House Field. When the Phillies trained at Jack Russell Stadium, that part of this complex was where the minor leagues were. As Rolfing has the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
They built that during the offseason. That hadn't even started when we were here last year, and you come back this year and it's there. And it is remarkable to what's in there, and Murph's going to show some more later on. Yeah, that was just part of it.
0-2 the count with nobody out here in the top of the second. And a fastball right on the inside corner. Second strikeout for Cliff Lee.
Found out today that yesterday we showed the guys who were here, John Butler and Craig Fitzgerald, coaches at Penn State, and Fitz is a strength and conditioning guy up there, and they have an unbelievable state-of-the-art weight room that they put in the last year or two. And he went over there and saw it yesterday and got a little tour and was really impressed. You know, it's very different than what they do for college football, different type of machines, exercises and all. But it couldn't help but rave about what they had done over there for the Phillies players.
Now, Murph, I would imagine that folks around baseball are now looking at that facility as the kind of facility that you'd want to implement around complexes around baseball.
No doubt about it. You know, the Phils were lucky that they had the space to do something like that, but when they went ahead and decided to build that structure, they called around, they looked around the Grapefruit League, and they went out to the Cactus League to find out if someone had something similar, and what they found out was no one does. And so really it's the first of its kind as a training facility for minor league baseball and major league players here during the spring, and really something that the Phils are very proud of. And now other teams are coming in and checking out these facilities in hopes that perhaps they can build one at their complex down here in Florida or out there in Arizona as well. And, you know, I was talking to a couple of the national players yesterday who were here, and they also got a peek at it, and they said, wow, I mean, it is just really something special because it's not something you see all the time down here in spring training.
Yeah, Lee McDaniel, who's the Phillies director of minor league operations, who is down here year-round and oversees this complex along with John Timberlake. They both do a tremendous job working together down here in Clearwater. He's been fielding all those phone calls, and I would imagine that if there's space around baseball, I think you would agree with this too, Murph. If there's space around baseball, these kind of facilities will probably be popping up all over the place.
Yeah, and I think, Wills, you said it best. I mean, they're not exactly recruiting players when it comes to baseball, but hey, when free agency comes around and you could say, hey, by the way, here's our complex that you can work out in during the spring, or if you're on a rehab assignment, and you can show them something like that. It just shows you the organization and how much they're willing to put in for their players, and that's only going to help when guys are coming through town.
Right, Murph. And one thing we'd like to add, too, having been here for so long like I have and seen the cooperation between the Phillies and the city of Clearwater over the years. Yeah. You know, a lot of teams have moved. out of Florida or gone to different areas because they get a better deal. The cooperation between the city and the Phillies is just tremendous, so you're able to do something like that.
Well, right now, Cliff Lee is firing strikes here in the top of the second. He's got the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Chris Herman. He's already struck out 3 batters so far in this 1-1 game. There is a runner over at first. That's Ramirez. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's sharp with his cutter, it looks like. Got a strikeout, I think, on a changeup, the hitter before. But he's moving the ball in and out pretty well, and that's Cliff Lee. When he does that, he's surgical. He'll go up in the zone once in a while intentionally, but that's not where he gets his outs. That's more a show-me pitch to get something else done.
You see the ball strike ratio. 25 pitches, 21 strikes. And that was nearly another strike there. It was a little high, and it's 3-2. So Ramirez will be off and running on this pitch.
When Lee, like Halladay, Hamels, hitters know they're around the plate, so their strike totals are usually pretty high because guys are hacking at them. That Dominican team did a little hacking.
They did. Up high and ball 4.
He's not trying. He does not try to pitch up there. He just got out of whack all of a sudden. I mean, he may go for an occasional out on a strikeout up, but that's not Lee.
Well, the Twins have 2 base runners here in the second, and Pedro Florimon, who with 219 as the shortstop, part-time last year. Didn't spend the whole year with the Twins. Batting 9th for Minnesota. And he takes a cutter inside, 1-0. Florimon is 26 years old. In fact, looking up and down the lineup that the Twins have today, everybody's in their mid-20s, mid or early 20s. Brian Dickelman is the oldest at 29. 2-1 the count to Florimon. A line drive that's going to be off the glove of Chase Utley. The run will not score. Somehow he got a glove on that. Otherwise, it would have been an RBI for the Twins. Instead, the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
He had a chance to get any leather on that ball when it was hit. And she said, Tommy saves a run.
Well, he saved a run, and think back to that ball that Dominic Brown cut off, how important that was.
Right. Look how high he jumped there. He really got some ups. Oh, way up in the air and just off the tip of the glove. Then have to hold the runner at third, so they're loaded.
Well, 2 outs, a quick meeting out on the mound between Eric Kratz and Cliff Lee. And Aaron Hicks, who homered his first time up to give the Twins a 1-0 lead back in the first, will be up for the second time. That home run for Hicks was his second of the spring. And a changeup for a strike.
Here's that home run in the first inning. Cliff Lee probably got too much of the plate with a fastball, and that's today's jet stream in this ballpark, right center.
And Hicks lines one foul down by Murph down the left field line. And it's 0-2. Aaron Hicks was a first-round pick in 2008 by the Minnesota Twins. Last year in Double-A, he had 286 with 13 home runs. However, that was only part of the story. He had 11 triples and 21 doubles.
That's some athlete.
And a swing and a miss, and Lee works out of the jam here in the second. 4 strikeouts overall for Cliff. He is through his first 2 innings of work here at Bright House Field on a gorgeous afternoon to enjoy baseball here in Clearwater. Wheels, in case you're wondering, the Kansas City Royals are coming to town to open the 2013 home schedule for the Phils. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 5th, 6th, and 7th of April. Saturday, Turkey Hill Kids opening night. The Jimmy Rollins replica Gold Glove Trophy for fans 14 and under. That guy does not receive it, but if he brings any youngsters to the park, then he'll be able to take a look at that replica trophy for Jimmy getting the Gold Glove a year ago. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com.
Well, it doesn't mean anything, but the Royals are undefeated in Cactus League play.
11-0.
Very impressive.
Michael Young takes a fastball to start the second for the Phils.
When you're in their situation, that helps sell tickets, because if you're 0-11, that's grim. Even though that doesn't mean anything either.
But it may not help sell tickets.
It won't sell any tickets. It will not help that way.
Michael Young lofts one toward the hole. That's going to be a tough play for Florimone, and Michael Young has hit 7 straight spring training games.
That's right about the spot where Boa threw Sarge out one time. After Sarge had flipped his hat.
Did that slow Sarge, you think, up the first base line?
Very upset when that happened. And then Boa pointed over and said, "Don't be flipping that hat on me." But I'm telling you, it was deep like that. It was. Sarge will tell you. Don't ask him, because he'll be mad at me for bringing it up.
Was that an old timers game or something? Was Sarge not running well?
No, he was in his prime. But it was a hit. You didn't get a hit. He flipped the helmet. The ball was in the hole. That got me a hit. Whoa! No, you don't. He jumped up in the air and fired it over there and got him. Oh, that was great. That was before we knew Sarge and how much fun he is.
Here's Dominic Brown. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
May have been with the Giants when that happened.
Well, Boa was with the Phillies, so.
Oh, yeah.
It had to be the Giants.
Yeah, it was, well, the Braves. It could have been the Braves.
Yeah, it could have been the Braves.
So I'm not sure whether it was the Giants or the Braves.
Over towards short. Oh, bad hop base hit. I was about to say that could be 2. Instead, Young's on his way to third, and Dominic Brown will have a bad hop base hit, his 11th hit of the spring.
Well, that'll get that shortstop Florimone taking the ball off to the side the rest of the day, because that was almost right in his face. This is a scary one. It is a double play ball, as Tom says. And, oh, wow, right at the last second, and it jumps right up near his head.
He's out manicuring that area between second and third, because they're footprints, and maybe it hit something around those footprints that caused it to jump.
That can definitely get you to take the ball off to the side for a while when those things happen.
Well, the Phils have a chance to take the lead here in the second with Darren Ruff at the plate. Darren has struggled offensively and at times defensively this spring. And Ruben Amaro said yesterday, and Ruben's been pretty candid on a lot of his comments this spring, said Darren needs to play better. And it's an adjustment. He's going through a lot of adjustment, playing left field every day, also trying to make the team with a good bat.
Tough. First spring training, major league spring training, and with all the things swirling around him. Just not a relaxed player. They're not the same guy you saw in September. You can get an RBI now with a double play. Nobody out. They're going to play a double play depth. Not an RBI, but Phillies can get a run out of it.
In the dirt, Brown. Oh, he read it nicely. That's a good job getting up to second base on that wild pitch.
And you don't get a double play. Good job by Dominic Brown. So catcher can't find it.
Now a ground ball will give him an RBI.
It's a pretty good look at that being over at first. Oh, the umpire's leg stopped it. His shin guard went right through the wickets of the catcher, Hellman.
Boy, I wondered if Charlie was going to give him the green light. 3-0, and he did give him the green light. Figured it's an RBI situation. Swing hard, see if he can get something.
Sure. Especially here at this time of the year when you have a struggling player. He's not that worried about winning and losing games, so give him a green light, see what happens. And he had a decent swing at that.
Still a good hitter's count with the count 3 balls, 1 strike.
Chase ball 4. That's the other thing you noticed about him last year. He's had a real good feel for the strike zone, but not this spring.
Mick Billmeyer and Charlie talking. Mick is going to be part of the bench staff this year, and he said he's really enjoying that part of it. And that ball is floated toward right center. It's going to get the run home, and it's going to get 2 runs home. Darren Ruff made some contact. Dominic Brown coming behind Michael Young. It's a 2-run double, and the Phillies lead it 3-1.
Yeah, nice plate coverage. I don't know if it was a strike, but it was an off-speed pitch. You could see him lunge at it, but still was able to put the ball in play. Has to feel real good for Darren Ruff to do that. Get a couple RBIs out of it. See right here, see how far out in front of it he is? The pitch is. It's a breaking ball. May have been a strike. It was close. And does a good job of just serving it into the outfield. And then the wind really took it.
So a 2-run double for Ruff. He now has 5 RBIs on the spring. Here's John Mayberry batting 8th today. Mayberry 7 for 29 this spring. Takes low and in, 1-0. Last spring, the focus was on Mayberry because he was trying to win the left field job. This year, there's not as much focus on him. He's still trying to win a job. It almost seems like the primary focus is on Dominic Brown and Darren Ruff in the outfield. So for Mayberry and Lance Nix, it's just going about your business and, trying to show that you definitively belong on a big league roster.
Well, when you look at those two guys, especially Nix, but even Mayberry to an extent, they're veteran-type players now. They're not kids anymore. They're not fresh faces coming in here saying, what can they do or can't do?
Well, that fresh face leads off second with the count 2-0. And Mayberry takes a strike. It's 2-1.
Yeah, as opposed to Darren Ruff.
Mayberry is out of options, though, which means that if the Phillies decide to send him to the minor leagues, he has to pass through waivers. And
that won't happen.
You would think that somebody will pick him up.
I can't believe that he could get through waivers.
Off the glove of Herman. Over to third goes Ruff.
This guy's really struggling back there.
Hate to say it, but neither one of those pitches were pitches that he shouldn't handle.
No, the big league catchers have to catch these balls.
That took off a little bit. Ron Gardenhire, the veteran manager, kind of a different situation for him. They usually compete with a low payroll, but their payroll and their roster seems even younger with Willingham, Mauer, and Morneau as the veterans. But they still.
That Gardenhire coming all the way up here when he could have stayed at home. This maybe, as your point being, maybe he wants to come up and look at some of these young players.
Well, the way their roster is going to be structured this year, I mean, they have everybody pretty much set, but I shouldn't say that. They're not totally set, but the way their roster is structured this year, he may have to see some of these young guys as the year moves on. Now, look at what he's done during his career as a manager. 932 wins. He's been with Minnesota for 11 years. This is his 12th year. 6 division titles. He was a third place or higher for the first 9 years.
Yeah, they kind of gutted some things there for him. It's a lot tougher to compete now. You see 5th place the last 2 seasons.
Took over for Tom Kelly, a guy he coached for, and was kind of the same style manager. There were differences, but kind of the same style manager. Eric Kratz, the batter, with runners on first and third. The Phils have scored 2 in the inning.
That bad hop is really the difference in this inning. There would have been 2 outs and nobody on base. And the bad hop got the inning really started. Now you've got a couple runs in and runners at the corners, nobody out.
That ball is just past the diving Sobolewski at third. It'll be an RBI for Kratz. Scoring from third is Ruff. And it's now 4-1 Phillies.
I'm saying this guy's biography, Kyle Gibson, that he has a really good changeup. And that looked like a changeup there that was, it fooled Kratz, but it was up enough that he was able to hit it even though he had committed. Plus it was in a little bit too. Can't tell. I think it was off speed, something off speed.
Still nobody out. Ben Revere grounded out his first time up. Twins at double play depth. And Revere tried to bunt. Almost looked like a base hit, and if he got the sacrifice, that'd be okay.
Yeah, he's bunting for a base hit there. Absolutely, because the third baseman's back, figuring they're not going to bunt.
Now Sobolewski moves in a little bit. Terry Plouffe is going to be the third baseman for the Twins during the regular season. At least on paper, that seems to be the case.
We saw him last year. He's strong.
That ball's off the glove of Herman again. The runners will move up.
Well, this guy throws across his body and really yanks some fastballs, and they take off away. In this case, it's in because of the left-handed hitter, and the catcher is having a lot of trouble shifting on them to catch them or block them. Watch how he yanks that ball across his body.
Oh, yeah.
And with those kind of mechanics, he really pulls that fastball into an area that it certainly can't be a strike, but really hard for this particular catcher to do anything with.
Another ground ball will give the Phils their 5th run of the day. With John Mayberry over at third and Eric Kratz at second. The corners are in. And that should get the run home, and it will. And Dozier records the first out, but it's an RBI for Ben Revere as Mayberry crosses the plate, and it's 5-1 Phillies.
Great out, too, and that's fundamental. They'll congratulate Revere on that because not only does he get the run in, he gets the other guy over where a fly ball or maybe a ground ball can get him in. That's good baseball.
It sounds strange, but there certainly has been more of that this spring.
Yeah, and there are good outs in this game. And watch the reception he'll get for hitting a ground ball to second.
And Steve Henderson just tapped him on the helmet, gave him a little fist pump.
Yeah, ground ball to short there will get you a run, but the other guy, maybe the runner has to stay at second.
Freddie Galvis tripled his first time up. He takes inside with the infield in. And one out, and Kratz not a fast base runner. And I mean that in the nicest possible way over at third.
Catcher. Does not run well for a catcher. I know.
Although he did pinch run last year. Remember, he was a pinch runner and he scored from third.
Because he was faster than the other catcher at the time.
I think it was Ryan Howard, actually.
Was it Ryan
Howard?
Well, whatever it was.
Remember he did that first slide across home plate?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And last year he was faster than Ryan Howard.
Look at this poor guy shaking his head back there. I don't know what I want to call that fastball in that spot.
He got the glove on that last one, though. 2-0 the count to Galvis. Probably going to get a fastball here. He does, and he fouls it at home plate.
Poor guy just got hit. See, pitcher open up, and when a right-hander opens up, then the ball's going to go the other way. When you're really leading with your shoulder the way that he is, boy, is he pulling that thing across the zone.
There's that changeup, and it's 2-2, and that was a good changeup against the left-hander.
That's a really good changeup. You can see why they rave about his changeup potential.
Fly ball, shallow center field. Florimone is out on the grass, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, that's one of the few poor at bats they've had in this inning as far as situation hitting goes. Got him to jump at a breaking ball. Look like a curveball almost.
Well, they can still get that run home with a base hit from Chase Utley. Utley got an RBI his first time up on a ground out. Twins have brought a number of pitchers with them this afternoon. It's a long ride from Fort Myers, so they had to bring more than they'll use. But Gibson, I think they hoped he would get deeper than just a couple of innings in this game. He's at 36 pitches so far.
Chase just asked Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, about that pitch. I don't think he's exchanging pleasantries. I'm assuming it's about the pitch because it's always about business with Chase. 1-1 the count.
He just called for changeup. Boy, it's been a long inning for Chris Herman, the catcher.
He's getting a lot of practice on those pitches that are down and in, though. Whew. That one's on the hands of Chase Utley, out to shallow center field. And Dozier, the second baseman, is there. The inning comes to a close. The Phillies send 8 men to the plate. They scored 4 runs. Leave one over a third, but they take a 5-1 lead. Get suited up for spring training at the official online shop of the Phillies with the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps and T-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get set for spring at the official source, thephillies.com shop. Well, Charlotte Brazier is all ready for spring. You can see that right there. She's sitting on her daddy John's lap, enjoying today's ball game out in the sunshine, enjoying a 5-1 Phillies lead as we go to the top of the third. John Brazier, of course, the director of fun and games. Is that still his title?
I think he stepped up a little from that, but that was a fun title when he had it.
For as long as he had it. He's now director of publicity. I'm sorry. With the parentheses underneath, fun and games. Yeah. Brian Dozier leads it off. Dozier grounded out to second his first time up. Cliff Lee has a 5-1 lead as we start the third. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Out to left center field. Revere casually settles under it. He looks exactly the same, Cliff Lee does, as he's looked the last few years in the Phillies uniform. I mean, nothing's changed at all. Demeanor's the same, motion, the way the ball jumps.
Everything's fast with him. He works fast. His innings go quickly. He gets his outs fast. He gives up runs in a hurry. You're right, though. He wishes he could hit today. He misses that. He'll be happy when they get rid of the DH.
Yeah, people ask about that because there's a huge controversy the other day in Arizona between Kirk Gibson and Dusty Baker about the use of a designated hitter. It does depend on the teams. Now, the Phillies are facing an American League team, so Ron Gardenhire doesn't care. about using the pitcher. He wants to use the DH. But in probably about 7 days or so, the Phillies will start having their pitchers bat. With a few weeks left of spring training so they can get some swings and get up in situations where they might have to bunt.
It's their prerogative what to do in their home park. They just inform the other guy.
1-2 pitch. Broke his bat. Chase Utley roaming to his left for the second out.
Broken bat there right off the end. He looks good today. Just a wind-blown home run so far. Watched him the other day in that game. He pitched over Dunedin. He was fine over there. He just could not let the ball get in the air in that game.
Well, he did say that he was up a little bit with some of his pitches.
Right.
First pitch to Dinkelman is down low. 1 ball and no strikes.
And he throws home runs during the regular season when he misses because he gets hurt in the middle of the plate like almost all pitchers do.
Getting ready for his 3rd season back with the Phillies. Threw that changeup inside, and Dinkelman a little out front. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and after his first season, they acquired Philippe Aumont, who is away right now with the Canadian team. And it would really be nice if Aumont can make the ball club and contribute what he appears capable of.
He reaches out and pokes it toward the middle. Freddie Galvis throws over to first. He had to hurry because Dinkelman got up the line pretty quickly. And it's a 1-2-3 3rd inning. That's right. They're happy in the berm. They're happy in the seating area because the Phils have a 5-1 lead. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? Plenty of food up on the concourse here at Bright House Field. Not only do they have Delco's, where you can get some cheesesteaks. Tony Luke's is open down the left field line here at Bright House Field. A little taste of Philadelphia right here in Clearwater. I think that that youngster has monopolized all the baseballs out on the berm. Ryan Howard leads it off, takes a strike.
What a great spot that has to be for the kids out there.
Particularly during batting practice when the wind is blowing all over the place.
Well, all those little kids have, you would certainly know better than me, have trouble sitting still at times.
That is true, although they're not little anymore.
So yours aren't? No. Not Jeff Halkman, our producer, would understand that better because his are in perpetual motion. They're small.
Perpetual motions.
Kind of like our office. Our office is more perpetual adolescence.
Ryan Howard will be retired, one away. And the always young Michael Young will come up to the plate for the Phillies. Ryan Presley's up throwing in the pen for the Twins. Looks like he'll be the next one out for Minnesota. Speaking of perpetual youth, we forgot to mention that yesterday was Scott Fransky's birthday. He was back in Philadelphia enjoying his birthday.
Right. Not that young.
No.
But young for me. When I look at that number, is he about 41?
41.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Forgot to wish him happy birthday on the air yesterday.
You know, right. We texted him because I'm setting up golf for him for a week. Feel like his secretary.
1 ball and 1 strike to count.
What else I could do? Get him clubs, set his tee times.
You going to go out to the convenience store today? Can you pick up some stuff for him when he comes back?
We're going to go get some orange juice today if he wants some.
All right, freshly squeezed. 1-2 the count to Michael Young. Young reached on an infield single his first time up. So he's hit in 7 consecutive spring training games. Line drive, base hit to center field. We talk about timing a pitch perfectly. Michael Young now with 9 spring training hits. He's aboard with 1 gone here in the 3rd. Sunday night warm up for the Phillies season with a look back at the Phils past. Mike Schmidt and Larry Bell will reminisce about their teams and appraise the Phillies' current squad. Watch Phillies Focus Sunday night at 10:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Dominic Brown reached on a bad hop single his first time up. And he now has 11 hits in 27 spring at-bats. As his average rises close to 400. Up high, 1 ball, no strikes.
The thing we've seen about seen with Young and heard about him over the years, he is a great high ball hitter. And that baby it looked like a little cutter or slider up in the zone, and he didn't miss it. And that guy coaching third for the Phillies right now was one of the all-time great high ball hitters, Ryan Sandberg.
Dominic Brown slices one down the left field line. That's going to be in for a base hit. Young on his way to third. Brown will hold up at first on a strong throw from Wilkin Ramirez. He's 2 for 2, and the Phils have something going here in the 3rd.
Nice piece of hitting by Dominic Brown there, and good base running by Michael Young. Good first to third. Anytime there's a base hit to left field and you can first to third, that's good base running. They did a good job here fundamentally of realizing that Young is going to make it to third. So throw back into second and see if you can keep the double play in order, and they did. So all around there was good baseball.
Well, now Darren Ruff, who has 2 RBIs so far today, up for the 2nd time. He had a 2-run double his last time up. 5-1 Phillies lead it. It'd be nice to tack on another hit for Darren Ruff. People wonder about the competition in the outfield. It would be great if both Darren Ruff and Dominic Brown, and even throw John Mayberry into the mix, if all 3 were red hot as the middle of spring unfolded for the Phillies. I mean, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. He wants to know if that was a strike. Probably wasn't. And not a good pitch to lift either. And he's in a situation here where you should be thinking fly ball. We got another RBI with a fly ball.
Hit toward the hole. That's a base hit for Darren Ruff. Young scores from third. It's 6-1 Phillies, and Darren Ruff has 3 runs batted in this afternoon.
Yeah, and that's nice for him, too, because he smokes that ball. Now, that could have been a double play. If he hits it right at somebody, you go, oh, wow, he hit that right on the nose at the inning's over. In this case, he found a hole. And maybe some of that will start to work for him a little bit now in the spring. Hit it hard and then hope it finds a hole, and it does. Right through the hole on the left side for another RBI for him.
Well, Charlie Manuel has loved what his offense has done here this afternoon. It's a 6-1 ball game, and they'll send Kyle Gibson to the showers here in the 3rd. So a pitching change for the Twins. Ron Gardenhire out to the mound. We'll be back right after this. second series at Citizens Bank Park in the 2013 regular season will be between the Phillies and the New York Mets on Monday, April 8th at 7:05. All fans 15 and over receive that great T-shirt right there. It's the McDonald's opening week T-shirt. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Phillies offense has come out swinging again this afternoon. They've had many games this spring where they've been this productive. And the Twins will visit the bullpen for the first time. Ryan Presley in his fourth game this spring. And he's on to face John Mayberry. The Phillies have first and second, one man down, and they've already scored a run in the inning. They've done a lot of very good things offensively in this game and over the last couple weeks, and partly is just making contact in RBI situations.
Well, today they've run the bases well, and they've been productive in situation hitting. That will win a lot of games for you.
Mayberry walked and scored his first time up. He has Ruff at first and Dominic Brown at second. Over toward first, and that was a good play by the first baseman because he smothered it just in case it was a bad hop. And there are two outs, and runners move up to second and third. And that'll bring Eric Kratz to the plate. Ryan Presley, the right-hander, was the Red Sox 11th round pick in 2007. The Twins selected him in the major league portion of the Rule 5 draft last offseason. And they combined to go 7-5 with an ERA of 5.38 in the minor leagues. So he'll have to, I should say this past offseason, December of 2012. So he'll have to be on the Twins roster for the year. If not, he'll be offered back to the Red Sox. And it's 1 1 strike. Different pitcher. Same ball in the dirt.
He's shaking his head. Not a fun day. That's the life of a catcher, though. They have to block balls in the dirt.
Jeremy Horst throwing in the bullpen for the Phillies.
Coming off a little shaky outing his last time out, so probably would like to be better here today.
One ball, one strike to count for Kratz. He had an RBI single his first time up. That ball's in the air to left center field, floating out for Aaron Hicks, who gets under it. And the side is retired. Phillies, though, tack on one more on the third RBI of the day for Darren Ruff. Has to feel good for Ruff. Not only a 2-run double today, but then he shoots this one through the hole on the left side to give the Phils a 6-1 lead here in the home third. 3 innings in the book so far this afternoon. The Phillies lead it 6-1. They've received 3 RBIs today from Darren Ruff, which has to relax him, Sarge, just a little bit.
Well, he needed this, no doubt about it. That's some good hitting right there as you see him poke that single, I should say double there into right center. You know, one of the things, too, though, for Darren, he's going to have to relax, pulling those hands in. What I see that he's doing is just swinging at bad pitches. His stroke is fine. The mechanics are fine. Just got to start swinging at more strikes.
Well, 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs will probably make him feel a whole lot better. Cliff Lee begins the 4th inning with a 5-run lead. And he does so against Wilkin Ramirez, who singled to left center field his first time up. 1 of 3 hits allowed by Lee in today's game. Nice play by a gentleman just over the head of Mick Billmeyer behind the Phillies on deck circle. That ball was hit hard. Mick ducked. Charlie leaned, and the gentleman was able to make the play. There he is right there, enjoying the sunshine with his buddy and a cold beverage. Mick sitting in front of him, Charlie next to Mick, and Rich Doobie wearing Sarge's jacket.
Yeah, I think Mick likes that a lot better, being in the dugout.
Definitely does. Thought it was interesting talking to him because he's always been an engaging guy. He's one of our favorite people that we've gotten to know over the years. And he did such a great job in the bullpen. And as funny as he is and as relaxed as he is, that's what he helped the bullpen with. But he likes the fact that he's involved in the game on an inning-by-inning basis and will be this year.
Yeah, and giving a few signs, having a pitcher throw over. See what happens during the year. Who's going to be calling those pitch outs?
Well, right now he is calling the pitch outs.
Okay.
Breaking ball in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Gotta like the adjustment too, though, that Cliff Lee has made. Minnesota Twins, a lot of times the way they are taught to hit is to hit the ball the opposite way. So if you throw the ball out over the plate and away, those hitters will go out that way to hit it. He's been throwing the ball in and more or less change up to his soft stuff away. Look at it.
Well, I'm not sure if the fans heard you, Sarge, but that ball was scorched into the seats. Fortunately, it looked like it hit an open seat.
He's got to try to hit the ball out in front a little bit late.
Fouls one off his leg, and he remains alive. It's 1-2.
Boy, that hurts. Doesn't make you feel good at all. And a lot of times when you get back in there, pitcher comes right back in the same spot.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat, as Lee is probably going to be around 65 pitches this afternoon. Trying to get through the 4th inning. Swing and a miss, and he did go right to that same spot, maybe a little lower. But he throws that cutter for another strikeout. 1 out here in the 4th. Let's check back in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, guys. Well, we thought it'd be a pretty good time to catch you up with what's going on around Major League Baseball. Some news and notes going around. And we'll start off with Rafael Furcal. After a couple of weeks of discomfort, he finally got some bad news today. His season is over. He is going to need Tommy John surgery. The Cards shortstop is expected to miss, as I said, the entire 2013 season. The World Baseball Classic is about to hit Arizona soil with the first games starting up today in Arizona. Team USA, of course, will start tomorrow against Mexico. And somebody break up the Kansas City Royals. I don't know what spring training means in terms of the record, but right now the Royals 11-0-1 on the spring. Pretty impressive start for those guys.
I hope they lose before they come to the ballpark in April, Sarge.
I'll tell you what.
Well, don't you worry about a thing.
Does it mean anything, Sarge?
Not much. I mean, it does give those guys that are on the team, they're feeling like, hey, guys, we can win this. But usually when the dust settles, they'll be right back where they normally are. They got a good younger club, though, this year. I'll say that. But I don't know.
It beats losing, Sarge, right?
Oh, absolutely it does. And again, you know, the guys on Kansas City's team, they're going to be thinking, well, we can compete. You know, we can win.
I think it means a lot for their fan base. I know that if, let's say, if we were rooting for a team that hadn't been to the postseason since the 80s, and they were 11-0-1 in spring training.
That's going to make you run out and get some season tickets?
Maybe not season tickets, but maybe tickets overall. That ball is shot the opposite way, and it's going to be a home run for a Rolfing. A solo shot. The wind carried it out. And that's his 4th hit of the spring. And it's the 2nd home run of the afternoon for the Minnesota Twins. And it's now a 6-2 ball game.
Good thing about Cliff Lee, you know he's going to be around the plate. Has excellent control.
Ron Gardenhire making some notes to his lineup card. Pinto struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Designated hitter this afternoon. He had .295 last year with 14 home runs and 60 runs batted in the minor leagues. Change up away, 1-1. Ooh. That's exactly where he wanted that pitch to.
Yeah, all setting him up here. He's just a master at being able to set up his pitches, throwing them away to be able to come in, vice versa. Changing the eye level, high fastball. He'll come in with the cutter. Got to be a very disciplined hitter to lay off of the cutter that's coming inside. Looks like a fastball, and then last minute moves right on your hands, like right there.
Yep, that was the cutter. Michael Young throws out Pinto. Rich Doobie's coming out. That's 66 pitches for Lee, and that'll do it for his afternoon. I mentioned he'd be around 65 pitches today. And I think Cliff wants to finish this inning, but they'll go to the bullpen with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. He's allowed 2 runs today, both on solo home runs, 4 hits overall. And Jeremy Horst is coming into the game for the Phillies. The Phillies lead it 6-2. We'll be back right after this with this pitching change. With what he did this afternoon, he did give up 2 solo home runs, but that's it. Basically, the 2 opposite field home runs were the hardest hit balls that the Twins had in today's game. So he leaves after 3 2/3. He allows 4 hits and 2 runs. And Jeremy Horst will be on for the Phillies. Now, Horst's numbers, if you look at them, not too good. No wins, no losses, a 17 ERA. But it was his last outing against the Toronto Blue Jays that really inflated whatever numbers he's going to have here in spring training. It's going to be hard for him to bring that ERA down.
Yeah, almost impossible, simply because they don't get a chance to pitch enough innings to be able to get it down.
First pitch here is a strike. It's 0-1.
But they're not just going on those stats, though. I mean, obviously, they do make a difference, but they're going on how he pitches to the left-handed batters. You know, whether or not he's able to come in and throw strikes and quality strikes. Good pitch.
Well, he's facing Chris Herman, a left-handed hitter here. Last year, Horst pitched in 32 games for the Phillies, and in 31 of the third innings, he struck out 40 and finished with an ERA of 1.15. And even though he got roughed up in his last outing against the Toronto Blue Jays, Ruben Amaro said the other day that he still is confident in Jeremy Horst, and he still has an edge over a number of guys coming out of the bullpen this year based on 2012.
Well, that's got to make him feel, a lot better.
I said Blue Jays. It was against the Orioles where he went 2/3. He allowed 4 hits and 6 runs down in Sarasota. That was when we were on the air here. Little high, ball 4. So that'll bring Pedro Florimon to the plate. Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights coming up in the month of April include the 9th against the New York Mets and then the 22nd against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. Florimon takes a strike. It's 0-1. That was a good pitch.
Ooh, good breaking ball. Always thought the most difficult pitch to hit is the sharp breaking ball, the one that comes in on you. Steve Carlton used to throw that one. The one that tumbles, you get a longer look at it, a little easier to hit, I've always felt.
Then you kind of sneak that fastball by when you're thinking that he might throw the breaking pitch again. And it's tough to catch up. Sarge, that gentleman's going to need himself a manicure.
Wow. Those are the kind you want to really go on and duck. Ball coming in there that hard. It's more of just a late swing. Again, the Minnesota Twins are taught early on of almost an inside-out type swing where they're staying on top of the ball, trying to hit the ball up the middle and almost the other way. It's almost as if having a 2-strike approach, shortening up your swing. And the smaller you are, the more they want you to hit the ball the other way. They feel that you have better bat control.
Side, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I like the idea of hitting the ball the other way, but there are certain situations you look for that ball inside, you get it. You got to hammer that ball to left field.
Over toward third, Michael Young, nice play, flips to second in time. Well, he realized that he had a slower runner going to second. That's a tough play to throw across your body and go to the second base bag. 5-4 on the putout. That finishes up this 4th inning. Michael Young ranging to his left. Got a lot on that throw. Chase Utley settles on the bag. Baseball is brought to you by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Last of the fourth, Phillies up 6-2. Phillies are 6-5-1 so far this spring. Offense has done a nice job today. In fact, the top of the order will get a chance to bat here in the home fourth. They just finished Let's Make a Deal up on the dugout. Sarge, take us through this last play.
Well, what a great play, though. Anticipation all the way around there. To take a look at Chase Utley as he does like a first baseman, stretching. Now, that's just a good toss, knowing not a whole lot on it, but there's a stretch right there. And that little extra will cause you to be either safe or out. Great play as they get the runner.
Were you surprised that he went to second on that play?
No, not at all. No, not at all. And again, those are things that you talk about before. As you know, Utley, as soon as that ball was hit, automatically he was going over toward second base. That is a shorter throw for him as opposed to throwing it all the way across the diamond to first base.
Ben Revere is 0 for 2, but has an RBI today from the leadoff spot. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Hitting leadoff while Jimmy Rollins is out in Arizona for the World Baseball Classic.
This guy's solid at the plate. I think we're going to enjoy him. He's not a wild swinger, has a good idea or a game plan. See whether or not he makes him throw another strike during the season. 3-1. This is when you want him to make the pitcher throw another strike, especially if he's leading off. Being on base, different story.
Well, he does swing. The ball's off the glove of Rolfing into right field. They'll give a base hit to Ben Revere. So that's his first hit of the day, the 9th hit for the Phillies. Leadoff hitter aboard. We talked to Michael Young before the ball game about his defense and working with Ryne Sandberg.
I haven't hit yet. But to have a Hall of Famer say that about me is definitely a great compliment, a great honor. It's very humbling. But like I said, it fuels the fire to work even harder and to accomplish my goals.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Well, there's Ryne Sandberg, who a Hall of Famer as a second baseman, has been working with the Phillies infielders this spring and has been working primarily with Michael Young at third and with Cody Ashe at third base.
Yeah. One of the things that he'll go over with them is the footwork there that it takes to play both those positions, second and third base.
Runner goes. The pitch is taken low. The throw to second is in time. Ben Revere's caught stealing. Nice throw by Herman. And one away here in the fourth.
Good throw right here. Got a pretty good jump as he takes off. You can see they clearly got him as he tries to dive in.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Freddie Galvis. 2-1.
Took a really, sorry, Tom, a good throw to get him. That's what it's going to take during the season when he gets on. Good throws. Other than that, he's going to steal the base.
Yeah, if that throw was even a little higher, he might have gotten his hand in before the tag. And 2 outs here in the fourth. And Chase Utley's the batter. Pedro Hernandez is a left-hander warming in the bullpen for the Minnesota Twins. They have 2 left-handers today that they brought with them from Fort Myers. Hernandez is one. Tyler Robertson is the other one. Utley's 0 for 2. He's grounded out, has an RBI, and popped out to second. Phillies were in Minnesota last year to take on the Twins. They'll go back to Minnesota and Target Field in 2013. It was a nice trip. It was even better that Jim Thome was part of the Phillies last year when they were in Minnesota, because he is beloved in Cleveland. He's beloved in Philadelphia, of course, but also in Chicago and in Minnesota. And That's where he hit a couple of those long home runs. It was as if he had found the fountain of youth during that series.
What a show he put on, and infectious smile that he has and talking about it.
You kind of get the feeling that if somebody asked Jim right now, he would still play.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. I asked Charlie about that, and Charlie feels that he probably could help somebody, especially in the American League. Not going to be able to play first base on a daily basis. You're looking for a guy that would be able to teach some younger kids.
You wonder, with all the injuries the Yankees have had this spring, now losing Mark Teixeira for 8 to 10 weeks with a strained wrist, already without Curtis Granderson, if they might think about bringing him on, even just to DH.
I think it would be a natural, and not only that, good for the club. You got to think that he'll be able to pull some balls to that short right field porch.
Utley hits it toward left field. Ramirez, he circles it and makes the catch. Made it look a little tougher than it was. And the Phillies go down quietly in their half of the fourth. 4 in the books here in Clearwater. The Phillies, with 6 runs on 9 hits, have the lead. Well, we go to the top of the 5th inning here at Bright House Field. Phillies up 6-2. Cliff Lee went the first 3 2/3, and now he has the pleasure of talking with Murph.
Well, thank you very much, T-Mac. Our first chance to talk with you, Cliff, in the spring. So I guess we're about 2.5 weeks in, and you've had 3 starts now. So are you where you feel like you should be at this time of the spring?
Yeah, I feel pretty good, throwing all my pitches and just working on throwing strikes and trying to stay ahead in the count. That's really the main thing for me right now.
How do you balance, obviously getting ready for the season and working in all your pitches and also, trying to get batters out? I mean, because I know you're working on different things in the spring training games. Where's the balance fall?
I mean, the results are not quite as important right now as they will be during the season, obviously, but you just want to work on locating and staying away from hitter-friendly counts and just throwing strikes, and that's really it. Mixing in off-speed pitches and just throwing strikes.
There's a lot of talk about, is there a little bit of a different feel this year in that clubhouse? I don't know what the feel may be, but it just seems like this team may have just a little bit of a different attitude coming into the spring. Do you feel that at all?
It definitely feels better having Chase and Howard back and healthy from the start. That definitely makes a huge difference. And, with the way we played last year, there's a little bit more intensity and a little more drive to make sure that we get back to being the team that we know we can be.
All right, Cliff, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Guys, we're back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. While you were talking to Cliff Lee, folks were watching Aaron Hicks hit his second home run of the day. Both are solo shots. Hit one the opposite way in the first and then just hooked that one deep to left field to start this fifth. So now it's a 6-3 ball game. All 3 home runs are solo home runs.
Yeah, this Aaron Hicks kid, they're really high on for sure. Don't know if he's going to actually make it, but the way he is hitting that baseball, boy, going to right field, then you pull one to left field.
He had some numbers that stand out in a very difficult league. Eastern League is the same league that the Reading Phillies play, and the Reading Fightin' Phils. And last year, he had 21 doubles, 11 triples, 13 home runs, but he also scored 100 runs.
I tell you, that Double-A league is no joke. I found it to be a lot more difficult than Triple-A. Don't know the reason for that. Maybe tougher ballparks or tougher traveling. Once you get to AAA, now you're traveling on the plane as opposed to the buses.
Jeremy Horst picks up his first strikeout as he retires Brian Dozier. 6 strikeouts overall for Phillies pitching. And now Mark Sobolewski up for the 3rd time. Sobolewski's 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the first, grounded out to second his last time up. And a little out in front of that first pitch. It's 0-1.
So Cliff was mentioning throwing quality strikes, trying to stay ahead of the hitters. That's his game. Realizing that you stay ahead of the hitters, good things can happen for you.
Down the right field line, 0-2.
Also liked about what he talked about, the attitude, and almost saying like, wait, we have something to prove. And you know what? For one, I really like that. When you see what Doc was doing on the mound yesterday, it makes you almost want to get down there and be on that team. I mean, that's when, for me, the excitement comes, when you're going out there and under whatever circumstances, you're going out to win that ball game. As a team, too.
I think one of the points he brought up is having Ryan Howard and Chase Utley healthy. It makes everybody feel different going into spring training.
And indeed, it really should, because those are the guys that can make your club go in terms of offensively, hitting home runs, doubles. Not only that, clutch hitting.
Second straight strikeout for Jeremy Horst. 2 away. Brian Dinkelman is the batter. He's grounded out twice. Ooh, boy, he's got really good movement most of the time with that slider like that.
Yeah, 2 breaking balls in a row, and those are the things, too, that Rich Doobie, pitching coach, Charlie Manuel, manager, would be looking for.
Inside, it's 1-2.
You know, being able to come in a tough situation and be able to get a breaking ball over the plate, not just where you want to get over with that fastball, first pitch fastball. Usually more than likely, the hitter will take that breaking ball. If you can get that breaking ball down, he's been throwing that fastball up and in, not chasing that particular pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. To left field, Dominic Brown, he's out there. And now comes in a few steps. So Horst allows the solo home run and then gets the next 3 batters. Aaron Hicks has had himself a pretty good spring training day. An opposite field home run in his first at bat, and he just pulled one to left field in his 3rd AB. There's no better way to celebrate the start of a new baseball season than with tickets for opening day. And the easiest way to take a look at the unbeaten Kansas City Royals is Modell Sporting Goods home opener is considering an opening day 6-game pack. Order now at Phillies.com and plan to wave your Modell Sporting Goods rally towel when the Phillies host the Royals Friday, April 5th at 4:05. 6-3 Phillies on top, bottom of the 5th. And the new pitcher for the Minnesota Twins is left-hander Pedro Hernandez. Hernandez in 2 games so far has allowed 2 hits and has thrown 2 innings. And he does have a save, Sarge. There are saves recorded in spring training.
Okay.
You just have to kind of be the last guy standing out there if you have a lead.
Sure, he'd rather have his work in. But sure, he'd rather just make this club some kind of way.
Mentioned before, the Twins have 13 players, minor leagues and major league players, who are at the World Baseball Classic. And Ron Gardenhire was saying the last couple of days, he said the biggest concern is injuries more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the camaraderie in the clubhouse, and that's true, but not having those players under your roof and hoping beyond hope that they come back healthy.
Yeah, especially guys you're counting on for the long run of the year, whether or not he's a pitcher or whether or not he's an everyday player.
Ryan Howard takes high. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
I mean, obviously, the Classic it's great, good for baseball, but the most important thing will be the way that you play during the course of the season. The prize of being in the World Series is what it's all about.
Howard fights it off and gets a base hit to right field. He's done a lot more of that this spring. It's his 12th hit of the spring.
With him closer to the plate, he can take the guesswork out of the pitchers that would be away. You know, last year for me, he had to worry about in and out. You can see their head down, he clears his hips again, and every ball doesn't have to be hit out of the ballpark. For Ryan, just hitting the ball hard will make it where he will have an excellent year.
Here's Michael Young. He's 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Shoots it the other way. It'll slice out of play. Sarge, we heard the comments from Michael Young about taking ground balls and working with Ryan Sandberg over at third base. You were a teammate of Rhino with the Chicago Cubs. Everybody's raved about how he's handled things in his first spring with the major league club.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't surprise you.
Not at all. I mean, he's the type of player that, well, lead by the way that he played. He talks a lot more now, though, since becoming a manager. Actually, they had to tell him to stop talking so much because he was getting kicked out of too many games. But he wanted to show the players that he was really behind them and coming with a kind of a reserved type of an attitude throughout his career.
Ground ball to shortstop. That could be 2. And it will be. 6-4-3 double play. And 2 outs now for Dominic Brown. Well, you were around Rhino as a player. Is he able to explain things the way it seems like players have said he has explained them this spring? You know, he's been teaching a lot this spring.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even back when we were playing, guys would go into different slumps. I mean, we would actually go in there, break down our tapes and look at them. But sure, he can explain that as good as anyone. Period.
Dominic Brown is 2 for 2.
You heard Michael say when, you know, a Hall of Famer is telling you this or saying anything about you and glowing remarks. Boy, I mean, you take that and you take it, well, boy, I am doing the right thing. But they like that, though, for the club to kind of take on their personality. And if they're going to start doing like Doc did even yesterday's game, you get your club behind you, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Out to center field. Aaron Hicks is there. Dominic Brown retired for the first time. The Phillies go down quietly, and we go to the 6th here in Clearwater.
Find it.
The Phillies on top 6-3. Good offensive day, and when you're an offensive team, you need some good batting cages. And for more on that, here's Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Well, earlier in the game, we showed you the 5,000 square foot workout facility. Now we're inside where the baseball happens. Here you see 6 separate batting cages in the back of this inside Carpenter complex. Each batting cage is equipped with 3 different pitching rubbers so they can see live pitching, but also state-of-the-art batting machines. They're digital. You can pick where your pitch can come, what kind of pitch you want to see. It is absolutely unbelievable. Also, this complex opens up so they can do some fielding drills in here. And again, mostly minor league players using this facility now, but earlier this spring with some rain here in Clearwater, the big leaguers came in and got their work done in here as well. It is one of a kind in Florida, one of a kind in Major League Baseball, and guys, certainly something you're going to see popping up all over complexes in the spring, coming real soon in Major League Baseball. Guys?
Yeah, I got to kind of like that. You can throw the pitch exactly where you want it, breaking balls, fastballs. I wonder why so many guys we have in the league, and this is going to be the first one. This should really propel the hitting now. There should be no excuses that I can't hit a breaking ball. Imagine that. Back in the day, even Chris Wheeler might have made the major leagues with a machine like that.
Well, Kevin Franzen takes over at third base for the Phillies, and Michael Young. Josh Fields is now at first base. Those are the 2 defensive changes for the Phillies as we begin the 6th. On the mound, Raul Valdez will pick up for Jeremy Horst. Horst went an inning and a third. He allowed just the 1 hit. It was a solo home run. And now Valdez, who in 6 innings has struck out 7. He's had a good spring so far. Wilkin Ramirez will lead it off for the Twins. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1.
You know, on a lot of those machines, too, you can get the right-handed curveball, the left-handed curveball. You know, get your fastballs. Balls doesn't have to come straight.
Ramirez lines one toward the middle, a base hit, so he has 2 hits today. The leadoff batter's aboard here in the 6th. I think it's remarkable that machines have gotten to that point where you can punch in a specific pitch. But I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, Murph, because the video component of those hitting facilities and, you know, the facilities at Citizens Bank Park, they're growing too.
Yeah, no doubt about it, guys. And well, first of all, did you like how I was whispering? Did you notice?
I was wondering, were there meetings going on?
There was a meeting going on. I was trying to be respectful for the guys.
Thank goodness you didn't screw it up and they didn't get the chance to heckle you.
I was practicing. Yeah, right. 1 take. You know, come on. You know, you talk about the video, and we know what a great job Kevin Camasholi does with the Phillies in the video and what the players do, watching their swings. You know, sometimes after every at bat, going back and watching their swings. The facility here is completely wired, including the ballpark here, Bright House Field, and then wired back to the new complex so that they can watch the video from these games and anything that's happening out on the practice fields as well. So it really is absolutely unbelievable state-of-the-art kind of stuff that the Phils have going on here.
Yeah, I didn't realize that part of it, that, you know, all around the complex they can basically get video of what they're doing, whether it be at batting practice or, you know, even on the big field here. That is pretty darn good.
Yeah, they have cameras at 2 of the practice fields back there, center field cameras and home plate cameras that just record all the action, everything they're doing. So if the coaches want to go back and look at something, they can take a look at that. And again, right here in Bright House Field as well. And it's all connected, so they don't have to jump back and forth. They just do it digitally.
Again, the ever-evolving game of baseball, and I guess you could say it of any sport. It's ever-evolving, Sarge.
Well, that's why, too. I mean, you have so many different people just around baseball trying to get in with just different innovative things, just like this, the hitting machine. You know, and the more hitting you have, the more films you have to be able to break down a particular hitter, the easier it is for him to be able to see different things he's doing right or wrong. I think it can only help, definitely, in having that many things helping you do the things that you need to, because let's face it, hitting the most difficult part of baseball.
2-2 the count. And a called strike 3 right on the inside part of the plate. Good placement by Valdez. And that's the 8th strikeout of the day for Phillies pitching.
Movement on this as it moves right back inside part of the plate. Gotta like that too, though. Got to be able to pitch inside and pitching inside for strikes, not just throwing it in there. It makes any of your pitches on the outside part of the plate that much better.
Here's Pinto, who's 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's grounded out to third. At a strike on the inside corner, 0-1 the count. Cliff Lee started. He went the first 3 2/3, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. Jeremy Horst went an inning and a third and allowed 1 run on a solo home run. And now it's Raul Valdez. We're also scheduled to see Zach Miner this afternoon, and I'm sure we'll see an additional pitcher, depending on how quickly Raul Valdez is able to get through the 6th inning.
Now these games become more and more important. Don't know exactly when they'll have the first cut. That's usually for the younger guys that they know that's not going to make the club. But then again, it starts to get nerve-wracking time, that 2nd and 3rd cut.
Yeah, minor league camp is opened on the back fields, so games will start to be played out there on a consistent basis. That ball gets away from Kratz and rolls toward the on-deck circle. Ramirez will stop at second. And the key is for some of the younger guys who are not slated to make the major league club to get, although they don't want to get, cut, they do need to get at bats.
No, they're definitely liking that extra meal money that they get, and the longer you end up staying and you get paid on that weekly, the better for you. But you're right, no one wants to get sent down.
Swing and a miss, and that's the 2nd out, 2nd strikeout for Valdez. So 9 strikeouts today for Phillies pitching.
Here it is again around the plate. Look at that changeup that he throws. Threw a slider right in that same spot. That just deceives the hitter, thinking maybe it's a slider, and it looked to be a changeup or split or palm ball or something floating in.
Chris Herman's been on base twice today. He's walked both times, and he takes strike 1, 0-1.
Minnesota doesn't appear to have a lot of veteran ball players on their team. And I think, too, when you have younger players, they buy into being able to hit that ball the other way, and it becomes more of a team type of effort for those kind of guys. Good block. So Kratz just kind of moved over with his feet to keep that ball in front. That's what you want to become a habit. That's as opposed to kind of laying the ball, trying to catch it with the glove. That's a good job keeping the ball in front.
Sarge, you bring up the style that the Twins have. Tom Brunansky is their hitting coach. He's not known to be a guy that wants to just put it in play. He was a power hitter during his career. Is that his style, or is it just an organizational style?
It is the organizational style to be able to hit the ball the other way. Torrey Hunter, one of the players that I've known for a while, actually got sent back down to the minors because he was pulling the ball too much.
Well, 3 straight strikeouts for Raul Valdez wraps up the 6th inning. So Valdez allows the leadoff single, leaves a guy in scoring position. While they're working here on the big field, they're also working on the adjacent smaller fields here at Bright House Field in Clearwater, Florida. Ruff's had a good day offensively. He'll lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th. He has 2 hits and 3 runs batted in. He's also scored a run, facing Pedro Hernandez, and the first pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. Darren now 5 for 25. His average back to 200 here in the spring. Fly ball to center field. Looks like it tied him up just a little bit. And that's the first out.
He usually gets to that ball pretty good.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Philadelphia Phillies. John Mayberry is the batter. This is the bottom third of the Phillies order. The Phillies have managed 10 base hits, so it's the 5th time in the last 7 days that they've reached double digits in hits. That's a good sign. Mayberry is 0 for 1.
As a hitting coach, that's kind of how you judge just about every single game. You want your guys to have somewhere around 10 hits or so, at least in double digits, and then you're asking them to come up with some clutch hits and do the small things, being able to get them in like Utley did in the first inning, ground ball, being able to drive in a run. Those are the things that Charlie's going to want them to do during the course of the year.
0-2 the count to Mayberry. Steve Henderson is to the left there for the Phillies. Joined in the dugout by Wally Joyner. Phillies also have Sal Rendy here at the big complex. He's in the first base coach's box. That's because Juan Samuel is off of the Dominican Republic. Sal is the AAA hitting coach at Lehigh Valley. There's Sal. And a base hit for Mayberry. He lines that one right into center field. Good solid swing by John. And that's the 11th hit in today's game for the Phillies.
Well, that's good to see. Line drives, and more so that he's being a little bit more aggressive. John, for me, is the type of hitter that the more aggressive he is, the better production he's going to have.
Here's Kratz, who's 1 for 2. He had an RBI back in the 2nd. I was watching the other day Mick Billmeyer and Jesus Tiamo. Jesus is the bullpen catcher for the Phillies. They were on the adjacent field. Oh boy, that ball was smoked right off Brian Dozier. I mean smoked. His sunglasses came popping off. I hope it's because he hit the ground. I hope the ball didn't hit him in the face. It looks like he's okay, but that ball was just scorched by Eric Kratz.
Well, you're not kidding. One hop right there, and you don't even have time to blink a lot of times. Take a look at it as that ball is just driven, and then it has that hop. Looked like it did hit him. I don't know exactly where, but
I think it hit the glove, Sarge. I think the glasses just popped off because he hit the ground.
Good for him if it did hit that glove. You know, those are the kind that I say that it's either really a good play or should be a hit because of the fact that, I mean, it hit his glove, but that ball hit so hard, you don't have time to react on it.
Well, it is a hit for the Phils, the 12th hit of the day. Here's Revere, takes outside. Just to wrap it up, you know Eric Kratz, when he throws from behind the plate, he'll throw without standing up a lot of times.
Yep.
You always wonder, is that something that he works on? Well, the other day, for about a half hour on that small adjacent field, which we just saw where the players are doing their PFPs, that's what Eric was doing with Mick Billmeyer and Jesus Tiamo. And they're trying to get Eric to not open up as much when he threw to second because it takes more off the throws.
Yep.
And sometimes it'll linger into the base path.
Very good point. It will make that ball sail when you open up. You know, again, I always think he has a little time to get up to throw. But Mick feels that it's okay for him to throw on his knees, but everything has to be exactly right in order for that ball to get there to second or to get there to third. Obviously, Kratz feels relaxed in throwing like that. And we've seen him throw out runners on his knees like that before.
Inside to Revere, 3 balls and no strikes. Pickoff play on at second, and Mayberry dives back ahead of the tag. There's Freddie Galvis. He'll be up next. Revere most likely taking here with the count 3-0.
I like that 2-0 pitch he took that was up and in. Tells you that he's just not a wild swinger.
Now, you think there's a chance he takes 3-1?
I was saying that during the course of the season, especially in a situation where you need a base runner, he's not going to just be up there swinging the bat. Obviously, with men on base and the way the score is right now, it's okay to be able to swing 3-1 then. Not in the right zone, so he let it go.
Left side. He tags the runner, and that's all he's going to get. Turned out to be a pretty good play. He got the lead guy, and now runners on first and second with 2 outs. Yeah, that'll bring Freddie Galvis to the plate. Group tickets are available right now by going to Phillies.com or by calling the Phillies. For groups of 25 or more, you receive special discounts and group recognition. There are many options to take advantage of at Citizens Bank Park, including private suites and pregame party areas. What better way to take in a Phillies game than with a group of family, friends, or business associates? Freddie Galvis is up for the 4th time today. He's 1 for 3. Has a chance to extend the Phils' lead. Outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Interesting to see how the guys actually grow up in terms of hitting. Freddie Galvis, when he first came up there, you could tell a little bit nervous. Now he feels as if he belongs, and I tell you, he attacks pitches, looks good in batting practice when he's swinging and practicing to get ready for the game.
Yeah, when he first started playing games here on the big field during spring training, it looked like you could knock the bat right out of his hands. But now, you know, he's got an authoritative approach.
Yep. Just a matter of whether or not they're going to want him to play every day. There's no doubt he could do the job up here as far as a utility player. Don't know if you want to waste his talent, however. I think he's going to be a good shortstop before it's all said and done. One that would play every day. And really, looks like his hitting's going to be able to come around, and especially if he learns how to keep that ball out of the air.
Well, he's run the count full, 3-2. The runners will be off on this pitch from Pedro Hernandez, the 3rd pitcher used this afternoon by the Minnesota Twins. Runners do go. That ball is smoked deep to left field. Going out it is Ramirez, out to the track, makes the catch as the wind brings it right on back. So Freddie Galvis on another day might have had a 3-run home run. Instead, it's the final out here in the 6th. We move to the 7th with the Phillies up by 3.
Phillies scoring a lot early in this ball game. Build up a nice little lead, 6-1. Now it is 6-3. You see Aaron Hicks has hit a couple home runs, one to right, and then it threw the wind to left field. That was really impressive. Kyle Gibson struggled a little bit in the game. Cliff Lee, a very, very good outing this afternoon, and Darren Ruff's knocked in 3.
Darren Ruff with 3 runs batted in. The Phillies with 12 hits overall. Michael Martinez is in the ball game to play center field for the Phillies, as Raul Valdez begins another inning of relief, and he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes to Pedro Florimon. He'll be followed by that Aaron Hicks, who has 2 home runs in the on-deck circle. 0-2 pitch. Florimon is 1 for 2. He singled. He also reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. Ground ball foul. That'll go foul down the left field line. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. I guess if Valdez can get through the 7th inning, he has 24 pitches right now, then Minor could conceivably pitch the 8th and 9th for the Phillies.
Yeah. Unless they want to get another guy some work, but they could certainly get 2 innings out of the pitchers at this time of the spring.
On paper, just looking at who was scheduled to pitch, the 4 that were on the list were Lee, Horst, Valdez, and Minor.
Right.
Coming into this ball game. And a foul ball makes the count, or keeps the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Charlie Manuel spent a lot of time in the Minnesota Twins organization. Get him telling stories, and that's not hard to do.
His favorite player was Kirby Puckett, who Ron Gardenhire said today that Ben Revere is as good a clubhouse guy as he has seen since Kirby Puckett.
Wow. They say Kirby Puckett was an all-timer. That was a teammate.
Up high, ball 4, so a leadoff walk.
Get to talking to Charlie, and as you said about Kirby Puckett, probably the guy he enjoyed playing with the most was a killer, was Harmon Killebrew. And they're both gone, unfortunately.
Well, Aaron Hicks 2 for 3, homered back in the 1st, an opposite field homer, and then pulled a home run in the 5th. So up for the 4th time today. He's also picked up a strikeout today. And the first pitch misses inside. It's 1-0. Valdez wanted that pitch. You can see by his reaction. He doesn't show a whole lot of emotion. It's one of the things I like about him out on the mound wheels is that I don't think you ever know what he's thinking or feeling.
He watches stuff too, and he looks like he's short with his stuff, and yet he gets outs and he gets strikeouts too. Kind of funky.
Yeah, kind of jumps on you.
Yeah. He jumps at the hitter.
Phillies set up to try to turn 2 here with nobody out. Chase Utley still in the ball game at second base. Freddie Galvis still in the game at shortstop. To right field. Let's see what the wind does with this one. Mayberry's going back, and that one is gone. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-run ball game.
That guy's picked up 2 of them the same way.
Home runs today for Aaron Hicks.
Yep.
A 3-home-run spring training game.
2 of them just like that, fly balls that were not hit all that well would turn into homers, and then the one he hit the left, he really crushed that one.
He did.
Because to get it through the wind, you really have to hit it. You can see what Galvis did last inning, how hard he hit that. This is just a fly ball to right field. And you see Mayberry thought he had it about 4 times. And then he looks up. Nope. No. See right there, I got it. I got it. I got it. Now here comes the wall. I better. Whoa, I can't even get it. That was funny.
Doesn't matter how you cut it, though. That's a 3-home-run ball game for Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, it looks good in the box score.
Outside and high, 2-0 the count to Brian Dozier. Kyle Simon is warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies, so Valdez may be just about done.
They don't have a category in the box score. They put STHR next to it. Spring training home run.
Or spring training wind-blown home run.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're kind of synonymous.
There's Simon. All the runs today for the Twins on the long ball. 3 by Hicks. And then the 1 by Rolfing. The 3 by Hicks. 2 of those 3 were solo shots, and Rolfing's was a solo shot as well. Swing and a miss, and there's 1 away. That's 4 strikeouts for Valdez. Phillies with 11 strikeouts today for their staff.
That's it.
Yep, Rich Doobie's running out to the mound. He just signaled to Kyle Simon. So 36 pitches for Valdez. He'll leave after allowing 2 hits, including a 2-run home run. So the Phils will go back to the bullpen another time here in the 7th inning. They lead it by 1. We'll be back right after this. One 6-5 here in the top of the 7th inning. There's 1 man down, and we're in the middle of a pitching change here in Clearwater. And we mentioned Ben Revere before. We mentioned how Ron Gardenhire said he was one of the best clubhouse guys he's seen since Kirby Puckett. Well, who did Ben Revere look up to when he was growing up?
I was a really big King Griffey Jr. fan. But when I got older, when the draft came around, people started talking how I'm game similar to Juan Pierre. So I started watching him a lot. Even when I got called up to the big leagues and when he was with the White Sox, I kind of sat on the bench and kind of watched how he came about his business. And I think that was what kind of helped me out. He was with y'all last year. Everybody said they loved him. And I'm basically the little brother coming in just like Juan Pierre. So it's kind of funny. But I looked to him a lot. Even center field last year, Jadar Span, I kind of looked up to him a lot. He was basically my big brother over there. He kind of helped me out, showed me the ropes over there in Minnesota.
Well, I think the Juan Pierre analogy is something that we have all seen this spring. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yes. And if he can stay within himself the way the Juan Pierre did.
His entire career.
His entire career, right. Then he's going to be a really good player, because that's what Juan Pierre did. He knew what he was from day one and just played that kind of game.
Well, he talked about Denard Span, too, about how he looked up to him, and he even mentioned how he helped him off the field, too, and every young player needs somebody to take them under their wing.
Well, Juan Pierre not only stayed within himself on the field, but he's the ultimate pro off the field. And he had great respect for the game and for life and for people, and still does. And he's going to be in the game again this year with the Marlins, it looks like. And it's nice to have him in baseball, but we're really lucky, all of us, and I know you agree, to get to know him last year.
Brian Dinkelman is the batter. Kyle Simon has a strikeout already in this inning. And there's a line drive to left field. Dominic Brown is there, reaches down to make the catch. And the side is retired. 2 runs and a 2-run home run by Aaron Hicks, just his 3rd of the game. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Phillies up by 1. Don't miss out on any Phillies news, alerts, or inside information. Sign up today for the CSNPhilly.com Phillies newsletter. Do it now. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Bright House Field. The Phillies lead at 6-5. The Phillies jumped out to a 6-0 lead in this ball game. Well, Chase Utley's going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th. Luis Perdomo is the new pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. And some changes for Minnesota. In right field is Cleet Thomas. He takes over for Brian Dinkelman. And the first pitch a strike. Meanwhile, behind the plate is Kyle Knutson, who takes over for Chris Herman. And we mentioned Perdomo. He's the 4th pitcher used today by the Twins. And he's got the count. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase Utley. And Chase is 0 for 3 with an RBI. And he pulls that one foul. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Perdomo so far this spring an ERA of 6. Ball got away from the catcher as Utley slid out of the way of it. Don't want to see him get hit by another pitch.
Had a little sub-plot to yesterday's game.
It did.
Got a lot of attention.
He was hit by Steven Strasburg with a fastball from Strasburg, and then a little later on in the game, Roy Halladay threw behind Tyler Moore.
Slipped out of his hand. Cold day, windy, hard to hold the ball.
But Roy did say it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world if he had made contact. 3-2 the count to Utley. Perdomo, by the way, last year pitched in AA, AAA, and in the major leagues. In the majors in 15 games, he had an ERA of 3.18. Outside, ball 4. Utley's aboard to start the home 7th. Speaking of yesterday, well, here you go. This is what started it. Whoop, a fastball. Strasburg said slipped out of his hand. Fortunately, Chase was okay, and he's in the lineup today and has played the entire game so far. And then a little later on, Roy Halladay threw behind Tyler Moore. Davey Johnson said that he asked Tyler Moore, he said, "You guys have a history together?" He goes, "We do now."
Yeah.
Josh Fields is the batter. Fields came on to play first base for the Phillies an inning ago, and now up for the first time. Tomorrow the Phillies will head to Port Charlotte to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. In fact, it's back-to-back games against the Rays. They'll play here Saturday against Tampa. Oh, and 2 the count. Josh Fields will be followed by Kevin Franzen, who's now playing third, who's in the on-deck circle for Michael Young. Perdomo, after pitching last year sporadically for the Twins in Minnesota, was taken off the 40-man roster in October of 2012 and then signed to a minor league contract by the Twins with the invite to spring training. His time last year in Minnesota was not the first time he's been in the big leagues. He was first with the big leagues with the Padres in 2009.
Where he pitched a career-high 4 innings on June 2nd against the Phillies.
He threw 35 games again with the Padres.
Yep.
Back in 2009. Outside, 1-2 the count. It's going to be interesting to see what the Twins, what kind of team they put together this year. You know, because they have Morneau, they have Mauer. Both are having good springs, or at least have been swinging the bat well lately. They've got Willingham.
Third baseman was
Plouffe.
I liked him last year.
Yeah, Plouffe is good. Jamie Carroll, I guess, will be their second baseman.
The guy keeps playing good baseball. He's a journeyman type of player. He knows how to play the game.
You know, Jamie Carroll is the active leader in pinch hit batting average at .353.
To me, you know, I got to be honest. I thought he'd be a coach by now, because he looks like a guy who'll stay in the game because he plays it the right way. Everybody loves him when he's on their team.
And a called strike 3. Fields down looking on a breaking pitch. And Kevin Franzen will bat for the first time today.
And look at that little slider. And
it's a tough pitch.
It looped the plate. It wasn't a strike.
That's a
tough
tough pitch.
He's moving along here.
Franzen, a .364 hitter this spring, a home run and 3 runs batted in.
See why Fields turned around and took a look.
Now 2-0 to Franzen. Normally you see Franzen starting ball games for the Phillies. It's not often that he comes in the 6th inning, but as Charlie Manuel tries to figure out his roster for 2013, Kevin is going to be leaned on to be a utility guy that will play second. He'll play third. He's played first this spring. And he's in playing third right now for Michael Young. That slider again, and he got a call to strike again on the inside part of the plate. It's 2-1. Phillies this spring are hitting .266 as a team. You see Zach Miner out in the pen. They're averaging just under 6 runs per game, 5.9. That's a good number. If somehow they can sustain that during the regular season, and who knows if they can, but that's a good number, particularly with the staff that they project to have.
Franzen likes to hit the ball the other way, get one up in the wind, cause some damage.
There goes Utley. Ground ball back toward the middle. Nice play at second base by Dozier. Wow. Somehow he convinced the second base umpire that he had his foot on the bag, but that ball took a super ball hop at the end, and he was able to finish off the double play. Well, he was out there covering as Utley was running, and he dragged his foot across the bag and still managed to make a clean throw over to first. Whether he got the bag or not, well, we'll never know. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Top of the 8th inning at 6-5. Phillies on top by 1. Cesar Hernandez will take over at second base for the Phillies. So the double play combination is Hernandez and Galvis. And Zach Miners, the new pitcher. Nice job by Kyle Simon. He threw just 2/3 of an inning, but his ball had some good movement on it. He picked up a strikeout. In fact, the Phillies pitchers have 12 strikeouts in today's game. So Miner 1-0 so far this spring, an earned run average of 6.75. He's thrown 5 1/3 so far.
Does he touch the bag?
Doesn't look like it.
It looked like a little phantom job there. Yeah, foot appeared to go over the bag. That would have been a hit, of course, for Kevin Franson with Utley running. It looked like they were playing hit and run, so that attracted some attention there at the bag with guys with gloves.
Utley came flying up with a safe side.
Well, he was safe, yeah. Like Franson came out of the box a little slow, too. Hopefully he didn't pull anything.
And he took some time down in the first base line before he went back to third. But he is back at third as Miner fires the first pitch a little high. It's 1-0. Wilkin Ramirez. There's Kevin. He had some pain in his ankle or his Achilles last year at the end of the season. That was bugging him.
A broken foot or something? What do you have?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. You know what? I don't remember, but I think that might have been a stress fracture. That's what it was. Stress fracture in the leg. And Ramirez has his third hit. It was an injury that couldn't get any worse, and he decided to play through it. A leadoff single here in the 8th inning for the Twins in this one-run game. And Cleet Thomas will be the batter. Cleet Thomas, formerly of the Detroit Tigers. He's 3 for 14 this spring for the Minnesota Twins. And the throw over to first, back diving is Wilkin Ramirez. Low and away, so 1 ball and no strikes. That hit, by the way, for the Twins, their 8th hit of the afternoon. Thomas last year spent time with the Tigers, only 3 at bats, or 3 games, I should say, and then with the Twins in the big leagues, he played in 12 ball games after spending a majority of the year in AAA when he had 12 home runs for Rochester. Swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. Back in 2009, he did appear in 102 games for the Tigers and had 7 home runs and 39 runs batted in. Eric Kratz peeking over toward the Phillies dugout. McBill Meyer throwing down the signs whether he should throw over or not. And now it's 3-1. There's Mick. This is the first time Mick's done this on a consistent basis.
Former catcher himself.
Yeah, he's on his own. Charlie's about 5 or 6 feet away from him in the dugout. Runner goes, pitch is taken low, ball 4. And that'll put runners on first and second here in the 8th. Monday, April 8th, when the Phillies take on the New York Mets to start a 3-game series. All fans 15 and over. This is thanks to the folks at McDonald's who received the free opening week T-shirt. Make your plans now. Order tickets by heading to Phillies.com.
Here we go again. Is there strategy in spring training? Well, if there's ever a bunt situation, it's right now. Down by 1. It's the 8th inning. Late for a team on the road. 2 on.
Yeah, Pinto is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice and grounded out. See what he does. He took a long look down at the third base coach's box to Gene Klein. It doesn't show anything. The Phillies are playing in on the corners.
Yeah, they're playing for a bunt. You have to think about it in this situation, even though it's spring training.
Nope.
So much for strategy.
I think Kratz will come out to the mound to talk to Minor.
Well, he could have been thinking on the first pitch, too, they're going to bunt. I'm not going to throw him a fastball right down the middle, just in case they're not. So he missed with it.
Down and away, and now 2 balls and no strikes. One aspect of today's ball game, particularly with Cliff Lee, is that the Phillies pitchers haven't consistently fallen behind the Twins batters, and that's allowed them to have some success. Here, though, Minor's kind of fallen behind, and now it's 3-0.
Yeah, there's no defense for this.
And ball 4. So now the bases are loaded. So a single and 2 walks in this 1-run game.
Catcher number 73, Kyle Knudsen.
So Kyle Knudsen will bat for the first time. He came on for Chris Herman, who started the ball game. Phillies will play the infield at double play depth, leading it by 1 with nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. Franzen is even with the bag at third. Fields the same at first. And Minor delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Pretty good breaking pitch. Denny Santana has come out, a switch hitter into the on-deck circle for the Twins. So he'll pinch hit for Florimone. Good play by Kratz. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The problem is that Aaron Hicks, the center fielder, is due up after Danny Santana. Wheels, he has 3 home runs today.
Yes, he does. 2 to right, 1 to left.
And a called strike 3. A fastball on the outside corner. That's 13 strikeouts for the Phils staff in this ballgame.
Aaron Cooper expanded a little bit here, which was terrific for a guy who's struggling. That is definitely a ball. But it's not. It's a strike, and that's good.
Well, now Santana will bat for the first time. He's been introduced as a pinch hitter for the Twins. Phillies now will settle back on the corners.
I don't know how well this guy runs. I guess they think he's really fast because they moved the infield in.
At 22 years old, last year he had 17 stolen bases. That's kind of an indication of how quick he can run.
Now they're going halfway up the middle.
Yeah, they look like they're going to settle back a little bit. Outside, 2-0 the count.
What that means is they're giving themselves a chance to come home if the ball's hit really hard at them. Or if it's not hit really hard and they're charging, they'll have a chance to come home. Now, if it's hit really hard, then they're back far enough. If it's at them, they could turn a double play and get out of the inning with a fast runner. That's why they're playing the infield the way they are. That's pretty good. They know 83 can run.
Well, you look at his numbers, and just looking at his numbers, the 17 stolen bases, that's one indication. That's not bad. But he also, 21 doubles, 9 triples.
Well, somebody probably knows him down there. Remember, they used to sit there and read the media guides. We could get those kind of numbers.
Two and two the count.
Swing the bats, boys, all of a sudden.
Mark Carlson is the home plate umpire today.
I'm sorry, I called him Eric Cooper.
Well, could be Eric Cooper on many days.
Yeah, could be. Sorry, Mark.
Eric's not here today, though, Will.
No, he's not. No, I don't know where that came from. Oh, my.
Ball went right between the 5-hole for Kratz, and here comes the tying run. It's now a 6-6 ball game. So we're tied up here in the 8th. And the runners move up to second and third. Joe Savory is starting to throw in the bullpen for the Phillies.
A breaking ball. And as Tom described it, through the 5-hole. Eric Kratz did not get down in time to block it.
Now the Phillies will play the infield in.
They bring them all the way in.
2 and 2 the count. I should say 3 and 2 the count. Back toward the middle. That's a base hit. 1 run will score, and that is it. As the throw is cut off by Fields, an RBI single for Danny Santana, and the Twins down 6-0 at one point. Now lead it 7-6. And Aaron Hicks has been a big part of their offense today. He has 3 home runs.
Yeah, he's going with 2 of them to right field. Now, those are windblown. This one isn't. And you hit one to left here today, and he just got it over the fence. So here goes the other one that's windblown. That's pretty impressive. 3 homers in one game.
So now the switch hitting Hicks will bat left-handed. He's batted right-handed his first 4 times up today because the Phillies have thrown just lefties until now with Minor. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. I said 6-0. It was 6-1 at one point. The Twins were down. I forgot that run in the first when they took the early lead. And they scored a single run in the 4th, a single run in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, 2 here in the 8th, and now lead at 7-6. Outside, 2-0. He was swinging for his 4th home run. It was just to our left and out of play. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was just above one of the crowd mics that we have here. So you heard it hit pretty clearly.
That was loud.
It was loud. Runner goes from first. Pitch is taken outside. The throw to second. And Galvis comes in to cut it off. So it'll be a stolen base for Santana. And now second and third. So the double play is out of order. Although Hicks is a tough guy to double up. Aaron Hicks hit 13 home runs last year in the minor leagues for the Minnesota Twins.
And a quadruple double in the minor leagues. Anytime you get one of those, that's a player where you have to give him a little bit extra attention. Quadruple double, double figures, doubles, triples, homers, stolen bases. That's impressive.
Now the infield comes in with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Time is called. Broke his bat, and he's going to float one into center field for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score as Martinez's throw cut off by Fields. And this has turned out to be a heck of a day for Aaron Hicks. He now gives the Twins a 9-6 lead. And he has 6 runs batted in.
And you're talking about maybe Zach Minor could finish the game for the Phillies. Well, he's not going to get through the inning. Bat breaks in half. But it's his day, then no doubt about it. He's had a really good offensive game. 6 runs batted in with a 2-run single here.
I guess that would be the home run bat that he just lost. He had 3 home runs with it and then broke it with his 5th and 6th RBI. So here comes Joe Savory into the ball game. The Phillies down 9-6 here in the top of the 8th inning. We've got a pitching change here in Clearwater. And we'll see if Joe Savory can get the last couple outs here in the 8th. It's been a tough day all the way around. It's time to take a little siesta out on the berm. Twins are, look at that, everybody's falling asleep out there, Wheels. What's going on?
Well, it's warm.
It is
nice.
warm. It's comfortable, I guess.
It's not only the kids that go to sleep out there. Huh? That's funny.
Joe Savory will take over for the Phillies. Phillies all of a sudden down 9-6. They've allowed 6 runs in the last 2 innings. Their lead was 6-1 going into the 4th. And the Twins have erased that deficit and turned it into a lead. So Savory on to get the last couple outs here in the 8th. And he'll face Brian Dozier, who's played the whole way. Dozier is 0 for 5 today for the Twins.
Nobody's sleeping in the shade down there. Oh, got chilly.
First pitch is up high, 1-0. Yeah, many of the fans have kind of migrated to the sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Down from the shadows.
They're trying to down the lines.
Runner goes from first. Pitch is taken high. The throw by Kratz low. And Hicks will add a stolen base to his line.
It's official. The spring training game has broken out. Hicks having fun. He's really glad he got on the bus.
He's going to sleep well as he heads back to Fort Myers.
He's one of those kids signed out of one of the Urban League programs in Compton, California. Real success story. If he can do what he's and take this into the major leagues.
Fly ball to center field. Michael Martinez makes the catch for the second out. Well, he has certainly provided a spark today. Switch hitter with power and speed, too.
Yeah, he's a nice looking player. Playing center field. Maybe that's why they think they could move Span and Revere.
You know, we all wondered about that. I don't know if you did, Wheels. I wondered that.
Sure.
I know that the Twins were looking for pitching, and they got very good pitching, too. They got Alex Meyer from the Nationals, and they got Trevor May and Vance Worley from the Phillies. May has great upside, and Vance has already pitched in the big leagues. Opposite way, off the glove of Fields. Hicks will round third and come home. And he'll score the 10th run of the day and his 4th. How about that line score for him? Statistically.
Yeah, it's a heck of a day.
4 hits, 4 runs, 6 RBIs. And it's now 10-6. Twins on top.
Reminds me of the day that Mike Cameron hit for the cycle at Jack Russell Stadium. Was just a young player to the White Sox. Didn't know much about him. Boy, that guy looks like he's got some tools. Pretty good career.
Eighth man at bat in the inning is up now, or ninth man, I should say, Brian Dinkelman. Savory delivers a strike. Oh, and 1 the count to Dinkelman. Inside, 1-1. He mentioned about being part of Major League Baseball's Urban Youth Academy in Compton, California. Hicks, that is. He also is the 72nd prospect in all of minor league baseball. Not just for the Twins, but all of minor league baseball. Part of the top 100 that Baseball America releases.
Oh, he's an eye-opener. See him in person like this. I wonder if we'll see him this year when we go out there.
Number 73 is a guy that we'll see later on this year with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Adam Eaton. Not the same one.
No, not the same one.
2-2 the count.
They put up 9 unanswered runs now.
Over toward third, Franzen stumbles a little bit, but is able to recover, and the inning comes to a close. So the Twins bat around here in the 8th inning. They scored 5 runs. Who else was involved? And Aaron Hicks. Everything today was from the right side until that at bat. He shattered his bat, drove in 2, and the Twins take a 4-run lead. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night every night at 6 and 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet. We've got to the bottom of the 8th inning. A lot of offense today. Phillies had a 6-1 lead. They trail at 10-6 now as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Dominic Brown, who has 2 hits today and 3 official at-bats, is up for the 4th time, facing Luis Perdomo, who is in his 2nd inning of relief. Danny Santana stays in the ballgame to play shortstop for the Twins. We saw him come on to pinch hit in the 8th inning and drove in a run and then scored a run. 1-1 the count to Brown. And now 2 balls and 1 strike. Twins didn't bring a whole lot of players as part of their bench today. The only guy they haven't used is James Beresford. Dozier throws out Dominic Brown, now number 1 here in the 8th. And that'll bring Darren Ruff to the plate. We mentioned the Phillies will be back out in Minnesota this year. Here's the interleague schedule for 2013. It starts with the Royals at home Then they're at Cleveland, and then home against Cleveland, at Boston, home against Boston, and out at Minnesota on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of June.
You like all those old TV shows? Wasn't there a guy named Beresford that used to give away the $1 million?
I don't know.
The old Millionaire show? No, don't do that.
I'm going to Google it.
What was it? Ray Tipton, our director, says that was his middle name. Close enough.
One and one the count to Darren Ruff.
His last name was Tipton. It may have been J. Beresford Tipton, something like that. He went with the first initial.
The Millionaire show.
It was an old TV show.
It was hosted by John Beresford Tipton.
There it is.
Yeah,
J. Beresford Tipton. Well, I got 2 out of 3.
That was pretty good.
That just shows you how bad this game's gotten right now that I'm coming up with that.
1955 to 1960. So
it was.
Wheels, I don't remember that show.
No, of course you don't. Well, I barely do too. But they had a guy in the background that gave away the money too, who was one of those actors, distinctive voice. Oh.
Marvin Miller.
Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony.
What year was that?
Ball is grounded toward third, 1955. Throw is on target. Ruff is retired.
See, that's black and white TV.
In 1955 to 1960. It went off the air in June of 1960. Wheels.
Okay.
You remember why?
Probably wasn't very good.
I just was wondering. I don't know what the answer was. John Mayberry, who has a hit today in 2 at-bats with a walk and a run scored. 1-0 the count. Looks like Joe Savory is going to pitch the 9th inning for the Phillies. Tim Wood is throwing in the pen for the Twins. Looks like he'll pitch the bottom of the 9th for Minnesota. And Mayberry lines it to center, so he has his second hit. That is 9th in the spring. In fact, that's the first hit for the Phillies since the 6th inning. So he's aboard, and Eric Kratz will come up. Kratz has a couple hits today.
This at bat, we're going to go to What's My Line.
You're going to run through all the game shows, Wills? It's going to take us to extra innings, probably.
Gary Moore and that. Go back to all the black and white TV stuff.
Want to know the count.
You actually had to get up off the couch to walk across the room and change the channel. I know kids would find that hard to believe nowadays.
Walking to school in the snow and all those things.
And those shoes.
Want to know the count? Kratz takes a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kratz came into this game 1 for 11 for the spring. He's now 3 for 14. Try to go down and get that one. It's 1-2. And Kratz on a breaking pitch is rung up for the final out here in the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phillies. John Mayberry has collected the 13th hit of the day for the Phillies, but they trail it by 4. Phillies down by 4 now as we go to the top of the 9th inning. It's a 10-6 ball game. The Phils at one point had a 6-1 lead in this game. Don't forget, our next telecast will be on PHL 17 this Saturday, the first of 3 this spring on PHL 17. Jeff Neiman's on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. He'll be opposed by left-hander John Lannon. So it's the first time Phillies fans will see John Lannon back in Philadelphia. As he makes another start, he's had a good spring. Jermaine Mitchell doing a little high stepping out in left field, stretching his legs. He'll take over for Dom Brown. As we begin the 9th inning, Wilkin Ramirez, who reached on a leadoff single in the 8th inning, cracks his bat and bounces one to third. One pitch, one away here in the 9th. And Cleet Thomas will hit for the second time.
Joe Savory coming in and doing a good job after Zach Miner struggled a little bit in that 8th inning. And, when he hit he's given up, really the ball probably should have been caught at first base under the glove of Josh Fields in the right field.
Cleet Thomas takes a strike. It's 0-1. Joe Savory, one of the more accomplished college baseball players in recent history.
Yeah.
Not only as a pitcher, but also as a hitter.
Had a great career at Rice.
Hey, you would think that he'll start at Lehigh Valley, although who knows, depending on how the spring unfolds. For a lot of folks, we're still 3.5 weeks away from opening day. There's still a lot of numbers to be accumulated for these last 3.5 weeks. And, it's a longer spring. Normally the first spring training game is the 2nd or 3rd of March. But it's tough to say who's going to make the roster at this point out of the bullpen because it's wide open the way the bullpen is. You know who the closer is. You know who the setup man is. You would assume Bastardo's there as a left-hander.
Right.
And you would assume Durbin's there. But there are a couple spots that are still available, including a long man, which Savory could be. There's J.C. Ramirez throwing in the pen.
Just in case Savory can't get through this inning.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Inside, it just tailed, and it's 3-2. And that'll find the hole on the right side. A base hit for Cleet Thomas. And Pinto will get a chance to hit again. Pinto's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Won the count to Pinto. He is the number 7 hitter in this lineup. To the count. And now Savory will step off. The United States will begin the World Baseball Classic tomorrow against Mexico out in Arizona. Japan has moved on out of their pool. Cuba's moved on. It's floated toward right field, and Mayberry won't get to it. It'll be a base hit. Thomas will stop at second. Chinese Taipei has moved on, and so has the Netherlands. In pools A and B, their next round will take place in Tokyo. Meanwhile, the Phillies representatives for Canada and the United States and Mexico will be in Phoenix, Arizona for their pool, which we said gets underway for the U.S. tomorrow. And then the final pool, which is Pool C, which features the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Spain, and Venezuela, is in Puerto Rico. As Knudsen takes inside and low, 1-0. I'm interested to see what the crowds are going to be like in Puerto Rico because, you know, when Japan was playing in their games against Cuba and against Brazil, swing and a miss, it's 1-1. I mean, it was raucous.
Yeah, well, you would think it would be that way in Puerto Rico, too. Because winter ball games down there are crazy.
Now, in Arizona, it may be a little different story. It may not be as thickly attended.
Right. A little more subdued.
Knudsen struck out looking his first time up. And a swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Might as well just keep throwing him that hook.
Yeah, because he's missed it the last couple of times.
By a lot.
He seemed to be anxious enough to swing at it. Broke his bat, and Savory has a play at second for 1, and they should be able to turn 2. And Galvis realized that he had plenty of time, so he took his time and made it a clean throw. 1-6-3 on the double play. Last chance for the Phillies, down by 4 when we come back in the bottom of the 9th. Out on the berm, they're working on their catching skills today. You didn't need to do that when Cliff Lee was on the mound for the Phillies in the first 3 2/3. Eric Kratz just sat comfortably back in his chair behind the plate because Lee was outstanding this afternoon. He gave up 2 solo home runs, but he struck out 5. He worked ahead of most of the hitters, which was a good sign. Overall, 4 hits allowed, and as Cliff told Greg Murphy before, he was using all of his pitches, so that's a good sign at this juncture of spring training. So he goes 3 2/3, allows 2 runs on 4 hits. And as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, a little game of tag out on the berm. And Tim Wood will take over for the Twins. And he'll face Michael Martinez to begin the bottom of the 9th inning. Wood 1-1 so far this spring, a 9.64 earned run average. And he has a quick conversation with Knudsen before he'll face Michael Martinez. Phillies were up 6-1 at one point. They trail at 10-6 right now. And you have to kind of break it down and look at the first 5 innings of the game. Now, Wheels, you mentioned it before. The Phillies jumped out to an early lead and didn't add on to it. But they did a number of things early on very well offensively.
Yeah. And they pitched well with Cliff Lee, just talking about that. And I thought they ran the bases well, and their situation hitting was very good. early in the game. Now it's
gotten away a little bit.
A little bit. Win and lose down here really means nothing. You just kind of look at the games and look for positives and hope they outweigh your negatives.
Overall, from a pitching standpoint, the Phil staff has been able to roll out the strikeouts today. They have 13 strikeouts. Or I should say 12 strikeouts. No, 13. My math was incorrect and then correct. 2-1 the count to Martinez. Fly ball down the left field line, and that'll slice into foul territory. 2-2. Tim Wood, the pitcher right now for the Twins, last year was in AAA, and he pitched in 54 games. He was 6-6 with an ERA of 2.19. He pitched for Indianapolis, which is the AAA affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Down the right field line again. Ramirez watches that one land in foul territory. How about this one, Wheels? Wood was named the International League's Relief Pitcher of the Year by Baseball America. So if you're the Pirates, you would think that would earn you some status. Well, he became a free agent and was signed by the Twins, and he just picked up a strikeout of Michael Martinez to begin this ninth inning.
Yeah, his job's to try and impress Ron Gardenhire, who happens to just be up here today watching these guys play. They are trying to rebuild their pitching staff this year. Outside, but it's a strike. You see Martinez's reaction. Catcher catches the ball that far off his shin guard. That's outside.
Well, Freddie Galvis up again, and Galvis, who tripled his first time up, is 1 for 4. Takes strike one. It's 0-1.
Even if it doesn't matter where he catches it, that ball couldn't have gone over the plate.
It looked like it had tailed off the black.
But it's late.
Over the Phillies dugout and out of play. Actually tailed back, hit the roof of the dugout. And 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend the Eagles back, Wheels.
Yeah. Good view.
It's a remarkable shot. You just don't see many Eagles that close.
Eagle has landed. That is really, really pretty.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wood. And there are 2 outs here in the ninth inning. And Hernandez is coming up. Hernandez, we saw in yesterday's ball game, came on to play second base for Chase Utley. Utley played, Chase got 4 at-bats today, including his walk back in the 7th inning. Hernandez so far 2 for 9 this spring. And it's 0-1. Well, Mark Carlson has established that part of the plate as a strike, so can't let too many of those go by anymore. Clete Thomas will pick up that foul ball. And it's now no balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow, Kyle Kendrick will be on the mound for the Phillies at Port Charlotte. And then Saturday, it'll be John Lannon here. Swing and a miss, and Wood has just struck out the side to wrap up the ninth inning for the Minnesota Twins. So the Phillies, who led it 6-1 at one point, lose this afternoon to Minnesota by a final of 10-6. Aaron Hicks would be anybody's player of the game after his effort this afternoon. 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, 4 runs scored. And he played the entire way for the Twins. 10-6 the final score. The Twins have pushed the Phillies back to the 500 mark in spring training games.